Woo, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday to you. Ben and Woods, 97.3, The Fan. Everyone is in bright, cheery moods today, I would say, in the Ben and Woods universe. Good to see many of you in the YouTube chat, already active on social media. Really appreciate that, certainly. If you are a YouTube member, we've got a live stream tonight, just me and Paulie, so you're not going to get Ben's Charger stories. Loves to get on there. He can't not talk about Phillip Rivers, the leadership that he provided, Quentin Jammer, just all sorts of stories. And I'm like, this is a live stream for our members. The Chargers aren't here anymore. So he's not going to be on the live stream tonight, which, you know what? There's some good and bad to it. I do like to make him uncomfortable in there. But if you are a member, join us tonight at 5. We'll be doing that. But if you're not, no big deal, man. You are right here with us on the radio, on YouTube, however you are getting us inside of you. That's what our main goal is, to get inside of you. 4 hours a day. 4 hours a day every morning. We start early. We do. Good morning. I am Woodsy. That is Paul Reindl. He's our executive producer and YouTube director, imaging director. He's got a lot of hats, literally and figuratively, a lot of hats.
A lot of hats.
A lot of hats. Good morning, Paulie.
Hey, how are you?
I'm fantastic, buddy. And then to my left, the very, very sexy and very talented member of New Media. We are old media. He is New Media, co-host of the Gwintelligence podcast. The great Corey Stewart joins us this morning.
Good morning.
Hi.
Thank you for that
Good
introduction.
to see you.
Wow.
Good to have you. I love when old media and new media collides. I do. I've always been a big supporter of new media, as you know. As you know, I have. Now, the one thing I worry about is you're on the show. Don't say anything racist later. Don't say anything to get yourself in trouble. Get canceled. It happens every time.
Love to have you on the show.
I love having you on the show. We love your
be the
stuff on
first
Twitter.
time.
Love your stuff on
Love
Twitter.
your stuff on Twitter.
Wouldn't be the second time. Wouldn't be the third time.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the kiss of death.
It's amazing anyone ever. If this show makes it another 5 years, it will be guestless every day. People are like, I can't go on there. I get jinxed after I go on that show. But man, it's good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you.
I missed your face. Always love having. I love having Corey here. He just makes me in a better mood. Yesterday was a rough day for me personally. I just had a bad day. I was so tired yesterday when I got there. I didn't sleep. So Hannah and Bo were gone. I don't know if Taylor's awake, so I don't want to say where they were. Disneyland. And Taylor went to school. And I was just gassed. I got off the show, and I've been working out every single day. Every day, period. And yesterday, I was supposed to play golf by myself and walk the course, do the whole thing, and I got in the car, and I go, I can't even see straight. I cannot. My eyes are crossing. I was so tired. We had a really good show, I thought, just me and Paulie in here. I was exhausted when I was done. And I go, you know what, man? I'm going to go home, and I'm just going to chill. And so I went home, and I chilled. For as much as I could. I was dead asleep. They got back at 8:20. I had already been asleep for an hour. I was out. I passed out. It was lovely. And I woke up this morning feeling like $1 billion. Like I woke up and was like, oh, I'm so happy to go to work. So excited. I'm so well rested. But yeah, just one of those days yesterday, I just couldn't get it going. I tried all kinds of stuff to like more coffee. Nothing helped. Took a shower in the middle of the day. Nothing helped.
Did you nap yesterday?
I'm not able to nap.
You can't nap anymore?
Nap. Nope.
Oh.
But I laid there.
Sometimes it's all you need.
And I rested, and I was not able to sleep. I have the immense nap guilt now. I just am unable to do it. My mind starts thinking about what a load I am. You know, my kids, what kind of dad naps in the middle of the day. That's all I think about.
One who gets up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
2:30 yesterday. Yeah.
And that's the one who does that.
After 30 minutes of sleep. But there's something in me. But look, what's the difference? I'm laying in bed in my underwear. Might as well sleep if you're there. But I didn't. I couldn't. But I just laid there and chilled. It was great. Who's on the Ben and Woods hotline right now? Is it our sweet little angel Benjamin?
Yeah, it's Ben of Ben and Woods.
Hi, Benny.
Someone who's laying in his bed in his underwear right now.
Tell me
sexy.
more.
All right, you want to join the live stream?
Well, let me.
I just got up and Paulie called me, and I looked on my Twitter feed, and the first thing I see is a video stream of Corey Stewart sitting in my seat.
Yeah,
so don't do anything weird to it, Corey, please. Well,
thanks for putting that in my mind.
All right, so tell me what you're wearing right now.
I'm wearing a Goat Hill T-shirt like you usually see me wearing, and those Costco boxer briefs we talked about last month.
What color
are the move for you?
What color are the briefs?
They're navy blue.
Oh, all right. I want you to slide your hand.
No.
No.
I just got very creeped out. I creeped myself out, which is hard to do. Trying to do sexy talk with Ben. How's your trip, buddy?
Good. Yesterday was a ton of fun. A great course. We played 36 holes, which I'm a little sore this morning.
I bet.
We had a really good round. The second round, I was a little worried about because we were paired with two random guys.
Yeah.
A guy from Toronto, very, very nice.
Sorry.
And then Ty. Well, I wasn't sure exactly what his name was because his Texas drawl was so thick when he introduced himself. Said he was from just south of Dallas, and he was there with his wife of 1 year. They were celebrating their anniversary on a little trip together. She was just riding in the cart with him.
Okay, good bit.
He had an extremely, extremely deep Texas drawl. And in the first hole, he says, "You mind if we play some music?" And we go, "No, don't mind that." But of course, it is as down home country as you're going to get.
Well, you get down the fiddle and you get down the bow. Good
Just as down home country as you're going to get.
Do you know the artist by chance?
Oh, I think it was some sort of playlist because it mixed around a little bit, but. It was, it was solid. Some of the hits of today, I recognized a couple of the songs.
So it was new.
I did not.
It was new country.
It was some new country. Yeah, it wasn't old country, but it was definitely
loud thunder, heavy rain,
thin line between love and pain.
Lot of that.
To punch him right in his throat.
Well, and then he wasn't playing very well. He must have lost 2 or 3 sleeves of balls on the front 9, and just started getting like, okay, this is. I mean, he's a nice guy, but it was like, okay, then all of a sudden we get to the back 9, and he locks in. He eagles 11.
Oh, my God.
Birdies 12. He is like, all of a sudden, there's my alarm going off to wake me up.
What a hustler.
Let's see if I can. There we go. Okay. And ends up, we all have a really good time, and we all comment by the end. It's funny how much fun we all had playing together, even though we didn't know each other. And then we get back to the hotel, and we find out that right outside my window, a giant Jake Owen concert is going on down at the pool right at our hotel tonight. So I couldn't get away from the country music
if you tried.
all day yesterday.
Good Lord. Now, did you gamble at all last night? Because you're staying at a casino, right?
We got back, we got some dinner, and then we came back to gamble a little bit. And I sat down at a video poker machine for like 20 minutes, and I started falling asleep at said video poker machine. So I thought, better not. We're going to play in there's a poker tournament tonight at our casino, and we are signed up for that. So that's our big gambling for the trip. We're going to play in a sit-down Texas Hold'em tournament tonight.
It's a good-ass trip right there, man. Buddy.
Yeah, we're having a lot of fun.
Playing golf. You drinking much? You smoking weed? Taking peyote? Anything?
Not doing as much peyote as you'd probably want us to be doing so far.
All right. Did you see the story? Remember we talked about the story of the Alaska Airlines pilot? You know, we talked about it the other day when you were here.
Yeah.
Who tried to land the plane? Do you know what you heard? What is
crash the plane?
Crash the plane, not land the plane. Tried to land the plane in an ocean. Did you hear his excuse? By the way.
No. I was wondering. I was so curious about what the reason was.
He said he took magic mushrooms 48 hours before it happened, and
for the first time,
I wanted to calm you down and let you know that that's not what happens. I don't know what he took.
You sure so you don't think he's being genuine?
He's not being genuine.
He's a liar.
He took magic mushrooms dipped in methamphetamine is what he did.
Yeah, didn't he say he'd been up for like 40 straight hours or something like that? Also,
that's impossible. It doesn't do that.
Not how it works.
That's not how it works. I just wanted to tell you, don't worry about that. Mine will be different, okay? Trust me.
I still don't trust you.
Please trust me. I'm begging you. So did you guys go down to the Jake Owen concert, or did you just watch it from
No, I didn't have to. I just had to look out my window, and it was right down right down below me there.
Oh man! Well, hey, please tell Scott I said hello.
I will do so.
And are you guys gamble against each other, right?
We do on the golf course.
What's the total here? Because he's tough, dude. He's a good golfer.
Okay, so here's the thing, and we will play all kinds of games. We'll do chipping contests. We went to Top Golf the first night. He beats pants off of me. I will say this about Scott: he can beat me in any game of golf ever devised, any competition, any challenge, except golf, in which I always beat him when we actually go out to the course and play.
He gets you on the closest to the pin with a chip.
Closest to the pins.
But
all
score.
The Sandies, the Top Golf games, the chipping contests we do before the game. He always seems to get me. But when we get on the course and we do score, I win 80 to 90% of the time.
That's excellent, dude. Well, I'm glad you're having a good time.
It was years ago.
Is that
we
Jake
were singing
Owen?
every word on the radio.
All right, we love you. Safe travels home.
You guys have a good show.
We
Corey,
will.
wipe off my chair when you're done.
I might.
I love
Bye,
it.
Benjamin.
Have a great time. He sent us the sweetest little selfie yesterday of him on the golf course with a big grin. I love that he's having a great time.
That's awesome.
I love that he gets to hang with his boy. You know, that's good. We always have so much fun when we go out to Arizona and the three of us and play together. And it's such a different type of golf out there. I love it. It's maybe my favorite in the country. I love San Diego golf. There's no question, but there's just something different about playing out in the desert. And the courses are always in immaculate shape. Always. Paulie and I had some of the best times we've ever had. Even the dump courses are good.
Really nice.
They're really nice. So like it's a good spot. So I'm glad he's getting to get his golf fix in.
Different grass out there. Every shot feels like you're hitting it off a mat.
Yeah, like off a carpet. It's
it.
fantastic. It's fantastic. And I'm glad Benny's out there having a great time. Today, of course, did you guys see the full moon driving in?
Yeah.
Man, that was beautiful. Today is National Black Cat Day. It's National Cranky Coworkers Day. Today's National Mentoring Day. You guys have mentors? Who's your mentor in life? Do you have a life mentor?
I guess mine would be my dad.
Your dad is your mentor.
Yeah.
My dad is a big mentor. Maybe the only mentor in my life that hasn't completely let me down or stabbed me in the back.
Your dad is also my biggest mentor.
My dad is your mentor. I do very much believe in finding mentors. I've had several over the years that I really looked up to, that I, would try that run things by, run things past. One of my biggest mentors ended up sleeping with a girl that we worked with. That was a big scandal. Asked us all to lie for him. So that was super duper fun. I've had some radio mentors that were not great, but I've had some others that are solid. The Dave Rickards is a guy I would consider a mentor, guy I've run things by in my life to say, hey, this is going on, or how do I do this, right? Dave's been a legend, and he retired from radio last year. I mean, thank God for us. Thank God that he did. Because
hate to see you go.
Yeah. Oh man, you've had such a great career. Here, let me help you. Let me help you out. I mean, it's like I was sad, but I wasn't really sad. I was like, yes, okay, now we have a shot. Now we have a shot at number one with Dave Rickards being gone. That's how good that MFer is and has been forever. And he knows I love him and appreciate him. And yeah, but it's tough. It's the hardest thing when you have a mentor and then they end up turning out to be a huge piece of S. That's such a it's like being in a relationship, and that doesn't work out.
Yep.
And you're like, and then you feel like an idiot. I didn't do anything wrong. I just picked the wrong mentor.
Yeah.
So today I do recommend, though, get a mentor. I'm full. I have too many under me. I'm not available to mentor anybody, nor would you want me to be your mentor anymore. But I did want to mention that. Shout out to Dave Rickards, and I hope he's doing well, playing a lot of golf, and not thinking about getting back in mornings. That's what I mostly hope.
Sleeping in.
He'll be sleeping in, enjoying his coffee in the morning. Maybe he tunes into Ben and Woods every now and then. But Dave, if you're out there, don't think about coming. It's terrible. You don't want back in. Remember how bad this is? Remember how hard and awful it is getting up this early? You don't want to do that.
No.
You want no part of that, buddy. Corey Stewart joins us today. We're going to, chop it up, talk some Padres baseball. Interesting little nugget came out yesterday again that it doesn't seem to be really going away. I see a very divided fan base that is now doing the copium thing, which I understand. This is how you protect yourself. But Ken Rosenthal yesterday did a little podcast, as he does, and had some pretty juicy comments on everything that's going on in San Diego. We will play that for you at 6:30. We got Chris Rose, the great Chris Rose from Chris Rose Rotation, coming on today. We'll talk a little World Series with him. That kicks off tonight. Very excited about that.
He's been talking a lot about the Padres too.
He has, and Trevor Plouffe, who is his co-host, they had some ideas about how you throw your weight around if you're the new manager of the San Diego Padres. We still don't know who that's going to be. A lot of rumors flying around about that. We'll take your calls today. It's Friday. It's loose. It's relaxed. We're going to have fun. Let Ben do what he's doing right now in his hotel room. Nice to catch up with him in his Costco.
Stroganoff.
Yeah, in his Costco boxers, right? I hope he is, Paulie. That would make me happy. That would make me happy if he was. It's just weird, but that's my friend.
Eating beef stroganoff?
That's my friend. That is my friend, and I hope that he's very happy.
We got to get him some of those Manny's new underwear line.
Yes,
we got to get some of those
Christmas.
for Ben and have him wear those.
Christmas.
Yeah. Would he try those out in the studio?
Yeah, he would.
He would?
Yeah, if he doesn't, I will. You know that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love
We know that.
getting nude.
Yeah,
in
we
here.
know that. Yeah,
I love getting.
Well, he's got
nude
that
in
hot
here.
new body now, so maybe he wants to show it off.
It is hot.
Yeah,
He's hot. He's so
Yeah.
lucky he loses weight from his face,
Maybe
which
you
I
could
never do.
You could get him and Eno in here, the underwear model
Oh my
himself.
God. Do a calendar
Yeah,
shoot.
yeah,
Ball
do a
going
calendar
through the
shoot.
roof.
Yeah. You got those big fans over there.
Yeah.
You could have the hair blowing.
The hair blowing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hot.
Fantastic. We will be back. Daily Ditty. We'll do Take on Wood. No, we will not do Take on Woods today. We will do Don't Do This today. We got some good stuff for you, or bad stuff, I guess, as it were. We'll get to that soon. Thanks for being here. We'll be right back. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Happy Friday. Oh, so vain. Woo! You
Probably think this song is about you.
I like the "You're so vain." It's so good. Carly Simon. You're so vain. Allegedly written about Warren Beatty. That was a handsome SOB. So I would be vain. I'm vain already. I would be vainer if I looked like Warren Beatty.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the last day of the theme of breakups, toxic relationships, which we've just been really exploring.
For no particular reason.
No reason at all. Been diving into that all week here on the Ben and Woods program, and you know it seemingly not ending right now. You want to be able to push ahead and move forward, and we will. We absolutely will. And next step for the San Diego Padres is to hire a manager, the next manager that's going to be at the helm of the ship. And there's a lot of interesting names being floated out there. My gut still tells me it'll be Mike Schilt, but anything can happen. I did see a rumor yesterday. I don't know if it's true or not. Benji Gill perhaps maybe grabbing an interview with the Padres next week. Is that true? Has that been confirmed? I'm not sure.
Can't hurt to interview people.
Absolutely.
Oh, we know he loves to interview
Loves
people.
to interview. And again, nothing will surprise me with this team. Just because we hear and think it's going to be Mike Schilt, AJ has thrown the changeup at us many, many times and said, Benji Gill just really stunned in his interview. Benji Gill, I really, the only problem I would have with Benji Gill is he just doesn't have experience. I do know he's managed some of those guys in the WBC. Benji Gill was a shortstop for the Texas Rangers. I think he's a San Diego guy. I always liked Benji Gill when he was a player. I was there when he came up with the Rangers. I lived in Dallas, Fort Worth at that time. And didn't have the world's best Major League Baseball career, but very few of these guys do. Typically the better your career is, the worse that you are at managing. That being said, he's got experience managing Team Mexico. You're managing big leaguers there. It's just not in Major League Baseball. So,
who was a good player that had an equally good managing career?
Honestly, man, the only ones I can think of that, Billy Martin was a pretty good player. And he was
that's true.
He was I guess he was a good manager in that he won some World Series, but he was also a terrible manager. That he got fired every other week.
Rings.
1 week ago, we talked with Brett Boone about Lou Piniella.
Lou was a good player. Yeah, he was. He was a good player. Yep. But superstar level, if you gave A-Rod a managerial job, I don't know how good he would do. I really don't know how good he would do.
We've seen it with front office, like Derek Jeter.
Terrible executive.
Not good. Michael Jordan. Awful.
Horrific executive. And I understand that. That makes sense to me because I do feel like those guys would talk down to their players because why can't you just be like me? Why can't you work as hard as I did? Why can't you be as great as I was?
It's my favorite story about Tony Gwynn.
Tony Gwynn.
The great Tony Gwynn.
Just hit it like this.
Just, guys, it's this. Just come on.
It's
just
so
hit the ball
simple.
like that.
Why are you making it harder than it is?
18-year-old kids. We're not Tony Gwynn.
We're not you. We don't have the hand-eye. We don't have the bat to ball that you do.
It's not that easy.
It's not that easy. Nah, come on, guys. It is. No, it's not.
Just slap it right out there.
It's easy for you because you're Tony Gwynn. I'm not. I'm some slap D from El Cajon that got a scholarship here, and I can't hit a lick like that. So it's going to be interesting to see. I've got my guys that I wouldn't mind. I've got my guys that there's nobody that I love. I loved Bob Melvin. I loved that hire at the time. Obviously, it didn't work out. But there's nobody that I'm like, oh, dude, if you can get him,
right,
he's going to take us to the stratosphere. There's guys that I'm like, okay, that makes sense. There's a couple guys that I'm like, I don't want you. I don't want Joe Girardi. I don't want Girardi. I don't want Joe Madden. It's just not the right fit here, in my opinion.
You can imagine Madden and Preller together.
I think Joe Madden's very smart. It is telling to me, though, that he hasn't gotten another job. Ozzie Guillen is the name everyone mentions. That's telling to me that he hasn't gotten another job yet, or really an offer or an interview.
Great managers don't just sit around waiting for jobs for however many years.
And maybe, there's politics involved in all of it as far as, these guys don't play the game the right way. They don't fall in line the right way. I know AJ said it in his press conference the other day. He's not looking for a yes man, but okay. History proves otherwise so far to this point, I think. So we've tried a bunch of different things here. They're going to try something else. I don't know who it's going to be. I don't know when it's going to be. I know that Flaherty is today. Ryan Flaherty's interview is today.
Yeah.
Don't know how much he wants the job, but we'll see. It's a major league job. But can you deal with all of the extenuating circumstances? And, apparently it's as bad as it's been reported. It is, I think. And Ken Rosenthal did his podcast yesterday. We're going to play a clip from that. We'll talk about it. It's pretty spicy. We'll play that next on Ben and Woods.
Ken Rosenthal?
For Ken
I'd
Rosenthal.
say so.
You could tell he was he's not real happy with some of the comments that AJ Preller's made. So we'll play that for you guys next. You don't want to miss that. It's really, really good. Chris Rose coming up at 8:35. Ben Woods, new media, Corey Stewart from Gwintelligence hanging out in here as well.
And do you work for The Athletic?
Yeah. Meeting of the Minds.
Yeah.
Meeting of the Minds in here. All right. Love you guys. We'll be right back. Ben Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Welcome back, Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Happy Friday to you. Wrapping up our week here. It's been a great week. Let's finish strong.
It's been a long week.
It has been a long week, but it's been good. We've had some really, really fun moments, as we usually do. We try to keep it fun in here. It has taken a more serious tone over the last couple of weeks as our team is, constantly in the national media's mouth now, and it's not really for good reasons. It's, are we trading our generational superstar, Juan Soto? Is our manager doesn't like our GM, and our GM, is saying things, and it's all, a lot of it's been proven not true, and it's a lot of he said, and you just kind of want it to quiet down a little bit, but instead of quieting down, we'll actually stoke fan the flames, I think, this morning by playing this clip from Ken Rosenthal. We'll play that after we check traffic here with Kelly Danick. We'll be right back.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by California Coast Credit Union. Got a collision involving a motorcycle southbound 5 right before Cesar Chavez Parkway. Emergency crews on scene. It's got the 2 right lanes blocked. Fortunately, no other incidents or accidents to mention at this time. Get a 4.8% APR auto loan at California Coast Credit Union with no payments for 90 days. Offer valid with CalCoast car buying service discount. Interest accrues immediately. Restrictions apply. Federally insured by NCUA. Visit calcoastcu.org. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So Ken Rosenthal does kind of a weekly podcast type situation. He's got the camera set up. He's in his home.
I believe this was part of Foul Territory.
Okay. Yeah. But he covered a ton of topics in it. And about a quarter of the way through is where he starts talking about everything that went on with the San Diego Padres, Bob Melvin, AJ Preller, obviously with the news of Bob, the press conference, taking the Giants gig and all of that. But Ken had some pretty pointed comments. We thought we'd play them for you here. Enjoy.
Now, as for the managers, this might surprise you. Actually surprised me this morning when I kind of made this list. There are still openings with, in no particular order, the Guardians, the Mets, the Angels, the Brewers, potentially, if Craig Counsell doesn't return, the Astros, now that Dusty Baker will be stepping down, and, of course, now the San Diego Padres. Yes, the Padres. Now, on September 19th, Dennis Lin and I of The Athletic wrote a story, a long story, headlined, "The Padres' Disastrous Season Reveals Shaky Foundation and Institutional Failure." In that story, we had an unnamed player using the words institutional failure. We had a former staffer saying the environment was the most toxic. And we had another unnamed player saying the relationship between manager Bob Melvin and general manager AJ Preller was unfixable. Unfixable. And then at the end of the season, AJ Preller, the general manager, held a news conference. And at that news conference, he said some pretty interesting things, and he made reference to what had been written. Let's go to some of these quotes here. Here's the first one. "Bob is our manager, and he's going to be our manager going forward. I think both he and I, a lot's been said obviously in the last few weeks, but both he and I are very excited about the challenge of getting this team, back to the postseason next year." That was one quote from AJ Preller. Here's another. "I think the anonymous quotes and the unnamed sources, we don't give any credibility to that." Okay, AJ Preller, you just let your manager go to the Giants, a division rival, because your relationship with him was, guess what? Unfixable. You let him go without compensation after 2 seasons, the first of which ended with an appearance in the NLCS. And now you're going to be hiring your 6th manager in 10 years. 6th. That includes an interim, Pat Murphy, who was basically the guy who replaced Bud Black in June of 2015, managed the rest of the year. 6 managers in 10 years. I will tell you, folks, most GMs don't get nearly that many. So enough of the kumbaya in San Diego. It was not kumbaya in San Diego. And you know what? That story we wrote, Dennis and I, we should have gone even stronger.
Why didn't you? That's my biggest gripe about all the stuff that's come out lately. There's been a lot of it. A lot of I heard this and I knew this a year ago. It's widely, we talked yesterday about the common knowledge, allegedly, that Bob Melvin really wanted to trade Juan Soto, his best player, the only player that played 162 for him last season. Common knowledge that no one reported on until that man puts a different jersey on, which is the San Diego way. It just is. I've done this long enough in this town to know that when things don't go, when one party stays and one party goes, let's unload on the party that just left. And it's happened every single step, every manager, every step along the way. That's just what happened. So my question to Ken, and I believe what Ken says. I know Ken is taking a bit of a victory lap, as, by the way, so did Dennis, so did Kevin on the Zoom calls, as they absolutely should have, as I would have, as everybody who gets called a liar should take that victory lap. I have no problem with that. You earned that. You reported the right way. And my question is, why didn't you go harder then? If you had more, why aren't we privy to that? Why didn't somebody report at the trade deadline, Padres actively looking to move Juan Soto because of the fractured relationship between Juan Soto and Bob Melvin? Why now? Why now when Bob Melvin's gone is it, well, he's an idiot. He wanted to trade Juan Soto, guys. That doesn't make sense to me. Again, to reiterate, I'm not calling Kevin a liar. Somebody absolutely told him that. And he said, okay, and put it in his article. I don't buy it for a second. You'd have to be the world's biggest buffoon to want to trade the only guy that really did much at all this season in Juan Soto.
If you're the team and you're trying to save face on letting the manager go to a division rival, that would be a great tactic to use.
It's a fantastic way to say, well, I mean, and now, again, as we talked about yesterday, that means, I guess, we're not trading Juan Soto now, because if it was Bob that wanted to trade him and not AJ, Bob's not here anymore, so now you have to keep him, or it's back on you again. So, again, it's just constantly painting ourselves in a corner here. How do we get out from under? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, Corey, but I know you do a podcast, Quintelligence. I heard it last week.
Sorry.
Yeah, I took a little umbrage with off-season talk. I'm taking some shrapnel there. It's fine.
I've only done like 3 hours and 45 minutes of Padres talk every day this week.
Yeah,
but, okay.
They were mad that we talked about Trent Grisham and what to do with him.
Oh, no, we weren't mad about it. No, we were just saying that that we felt bad for you guys that you had to go through these things every day.
Now listen,
it's painful. It's painful. And it's more painful this offseason.
Here's the difference between old media and new media. We had to come in here and do this every day. We don't get some fly-by-night once a week when we feel like it. We got to come in here and do this every day.
I literally go to HJ Manor and I bring my little cooler and I have
beers.
I have a bottle of champagne and I have one of those small bottles of orange juice and we have mimosas.
It sounds fantastic.
And we laugh for an hour and a half and then we're done.
Who wouldn't want to do that?
That's the way to do it.
That's how it's supposed to be.
I just do it 9 more times a week.
Exactly.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, it's you said it on the podcast though, and you, me, a lot of us felt there's no way this man's coming back.
No.
There's just no way he's coming back this year, and it turns out you were right. I was right. I thought too many people took victory laps about, Kevin and Dennis's reporting. I know those guys pretty well.
Just calling them liars, basically. Straight up calling them liars.
Straight up. Yeah. And then it all, a week, 2 weeks later, it all comes to fruition.
I'd be pissed off too if I was Ken.
I would too. I would too.
Yeah. And obviously Ken is furious.
Like, that's as spicy
as it gets, man. You don't want to make that little bub mad, dude, because he'll get you. He will get you. And he's so now you got to wonder, what else is there? What else is there that we don't know? What else? I think at this point, though, I will say this. At this point, it is just a massive waste of brain space, bandwidth, oxygen to worry about why Bob's gone. That's done. The milk has been spilled.
Yeah.
But the one thing I will say is that when the new guy comes in, he immediately, whoever it is going to have to face questions about that. And I said it yesterday. I stand by it. I thought about this comment I made all day yesterday. Should the main criteria for a baseball manager be, can you get along with our general manager? The answer is no. The answer is unequivocally no.
At least it shouldn't be the first question.
Exactly. But I think for the fans, myself included, that's the first thing I'm going to think of when they say, we have hired X as our manager. I'm going to go, I hope he gets along with AJ. I hope they're on the same page. Now this is like a guy that's been married 5 times. And at some point you're like, buddy,
stop marrying.
I don't think it's the wives. Maybe it is. Maybe you're the unluckiest dude in the world.
Right.
Or maybe. Just maybe.
Just maybe.
Could possibly be you.
You know, I could have. I've never been more mad at Ben than when he said, and I hope it was tongue-in-cheek that last week when he goes, well, he's getting better at hiring managers. We've gone up every time. I'm like, it's going to be tough. Going to be tough to find somebody more well-respected than Bomel, certainly. But I will say, I thought about that comment I made yesterday, and I do stand by it. Like, I want the best man for the job. Unfortunately, part of the job description here is, can you coexist?
Yeah, but
GM.
like Jace Tingler, him and Jace were super, super tight. So you knew, okay, yeah, this will be fine. And 2 years later, he's out of a job, and they don't talk anymore.
And the rumors are that there's no relationship anymore.
Like they were boys.
Yeah. So with the next manager that comes in, the question is going to, like what you said about, will you guys be able to
coexist?
To coexist. It's like, why will you be different than Bob Melvin,
Correct.
who was a
well-respected
veteran manager. Everybody said is a great communicator.
It's got to be.
Why will it be better for you than it was for him?
Whoever takes that podium that day, they'll do they'll put the uniform on. AJ will give a speech. Eric Rutner will give a speech. The manager will say some words, and then they're going to open it up to the media. And if no one asks, I'm happy to ask, why will this relationship between the two of you guys be different than Andy, Jace, Bob, Pat Murphy, on and on and on we go, interim guys and stuff like that? Why will it be different? What steps are in place to make sure it's different? And doesn't just fall on these guys. It's not AJ. I mean, I can't wait for spring training. I cannot wait because for me, last year changed me as a person, as a radio host, as a fan of the team. I want to ask these guys, about some of the terrible things they said last year. I have to say, Manny Machado, do you really feel like culture doesn't matter? Do you really think that having a good culture in Major League Baseball is not important? Because you said this isn't college baseball. We don't need a culture. I don't believe that.
Yeah, he said, what is this, high school?
What is this, high school? Right.
In AC's article?
I want to ask him about that. I want to ask Xander Bogaerts why the unwillingness potentially to move to a different position or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I want to ask these guys, what did you do this offseason you can never 100% say things will be different because you just don't know. It's baseball. Injuries happen, right? Yeah. You guys could get hurt and you're toast, right? You try to find a way, and you hope you have depth in your system to help alleviate some of that. That's a question. But I do think, I want to ask these guys, specifically, what did you do this offseason? Was there any meeting of the minds? Did you guys get together? Did you talk about it? Like, what are you going to do differently this year? What do you think happened last year? I think that stuff's important. Now, I think many of them will brush off the questions of, hey, last year's behind us, and we're looking forward. Okay, great.
Easy move.
But what did you do to get better? What did you feel your shortcomings were last year? What could you do better? What did you do to improve that? It's going to be, I will tell you, it's going to be, we like to go out there and screw around and have fun, and we will, believe me, we're going to have fun with the players and everything else.
Oh, it's a great week.
But it's like my favorite week of the year. It's so fun,
it's the best.
and the content's great, but I do feel it's important this year, after what happened, to maybe try to get to the bottom of it a little bit and just to let them know. I don't know that they know the perception, that a lot of fans have of the team this year. And, obviously asking them about their new skipper again, another new skipper. We asked them these questions a couple of years ago, and here we go again. But it's going to be different, man. It's going to be different. I hope to see, whoever the new manager is, I hope to see a different team than I saw last year. I really do. And I've read some really good stuff about. I saw a Cardinals fan tweet yesterday. I've seen negative tweets about Mike Schilt, but I saw one yesterday that said, "Look, that guy took over for Matheny, and Matheny was not a great fit there allegedly. You never really are unless you kind of win the whole prize and have deep playoff runs." He goes, "Schilt's teams were different immediately. Attention to detail, fundamentals." Like way better at the fundamentals of baseball. And I thought to myself, I'm in.
Fine by me.
Fine by me. Get that done. I want to see a different team next year.
His tenure, though, it was very weird.
It's very weird. And we're gonna if it's him,
yeah.
I'm going to do the same due diligence I did on Bob Melvin, and I'm going to talk to as many people. We'll talk to Bernie Miklas in St. Louis. We'll talk to Katie Wu. We'll talk to every person. Skip Schumacher knows him. I want to talk to everybody that knows if it is, in fact, him that gets announced. I'm going to give you the report. The only bummer is, like I said yesterday or the day before, the report I had on Bob Melvin was give me everything you got. Dirk, what are his shortcomings? None.
Unanimously.
Unanimous. Yeah. It was the best report card I've ever seen for a manager.
Love.
So that's what sold me. And then, sure, man, a lot of blame should be heaped on his shoulders for last year. Absolutely. Absolutely, no question about it.
Plenty to spread.
There's plenty of blame to go around.
Oh, my God, yeah.
So you guys want to weigh in on that? You can, certainly. Give us a call, 833-288-0973. We will take your calls on that. We got Don't Do This coming up. And again, Chris Rose will be joining us at 8:35. Excited to move on and watch some World Series. I love the World Series. It's just the best. Even if your team's not in it, I love the most high-level baseball you can get. I think this is going to be a great matchup.
This is a fun matchup,
I'm
I think.
really excited for it. There's a lot of good storylines in it. I'm still kind of on the fence of who I'm rooting for. It's weird because you do find it changing. I was rooting for the Phillies because I really like a lot of their players. But then when the Diamondbacks started to take it to them in Game 7, I found myself going, oh, hell yes, that's amazing. Like, I don't really have a rooting interest. I usually have a betting interest, but I don't really have a rooting interest. This one is a weird one for me, too. I have so many beloved friends that are Rangers fans. It would be great for them to win it. But also, there's some parts of it I'm like, I don't know that I want to see that.
There's a couple guys on the roster you don't like, is what you're saying?
Same. Like, and then you look at the Diamondbacks and you think,
well, they don't actually play.
Do you think you look at the Diamondbacks and you go, do we want a team in our division to win it?
Yeah, usually for me, it's like if it's a division right, I don't want them winning anything.
I know,
but this one. I mean, they lost 110 games 2 years ago.
Pretty remarkable.
And now they're in the World Series.
They're in the World Series. Pretty remarkable
and they beat
stuff.
A really good Phillies team.
It's really hard. Yeah. And just no luck involved. They went to their house and beat them twice. Yeah. I'm just fired up for the World Series. I hope you guys are too out there. Again, don't worry about what the ratings are. Not going to affect you one bit. If it's good baseball, it's good baseball.
You'll be fine.
It's funny because the people saying that will watch the two crappiest NFL teams play. No problem. Yeah. Panthers and Jags, they're in. We'll be right back. Ben and Woods.
Padres season may be over.
All right, welcome back, Ben and Woods, 97.3, The Fan. Happy Friday to you. Benjamin, out in Arizona on a golf trip. It's just me, Paulie, the great Corey Stewart, hanging out this morning for a couple hours. Really appreciate you being here, sir. Nice to have my crutch there, my bearded crutch. What do you got cooking up?
Beard?
What do you got? Yeah, my beard. What do you got cooking up for opening day next year? Because remember, opening day against San Francisco Giants, Bob Melvin. He's going to, I would imagine, get booed tremendously.
Not by me.
Not by me, but when he comes out, I don't want him to win, certainly, but...
I'm going to give him a standing O, though.
Great dude. Great dude,
And then look up towards the owner's box is what I'm going to do. Yeah.
Oh, look what you did.
Yeah.
You better win that game.
Oh.
You better win that game next year. You got to start hot next year. That's one thing that I think will go a long way. Now,
no Manny. We don't know when Manny's going to be back.
Potentially.
I don't.
Could be swinging a bat.
Could be the DH. I did see Manny at the reveal for SDFC. Now he had a brace on his
wrist guard,
and I don't know. I know nothing about tennis elbow. I wish Manny didn't play so much tennis.
I'm
can't
tired
happen
of that
anymore.
Yeah, I am tired of that. Motorcycles, and tennis.
It is funny though, talking about all of the shots that Bo Mel's taking. I see it a lot on Twitter too. Look, every fan base has its likes. It has guys you like. And as guys you dislike, or guys that are just guys, and you're like, I hope he does well, But everyone's got their guy. Like my wife, as you know, I don't know if you guys know this, she loves Jake Cronenworth.
Really?
Had a miserable season last year. I'm excited to talk to Jake though. I know that his numbers have declined since the last couple of years. If there's one guy I think that could turn it around, I think it's Jake. I think he's going to put in the work. I think he's. If you give him a position, let him stay at that position, I think he's going to be okay. Just a gut feeling, nothing behind that other than I just like Croney a lot and want great things for him. He deserves it. There's guys on the roster that everybody has their favorites. Maybe they're not the best players, but you like them. You believe in them. I've been guilty as hell of that. I was maybe the last Eric Hosmer defender in town. I went to that opening day, that COVID opening day at 6 RBI. I was like, now we're talking. And I will say this. That man is the best April performer that I've in history.
Incredible.
If you said, Woodsy, Mickey Mantle or Eric Hosmer just for the month of April, I'm taking Hos 100% of the time. The guy was elite in April.
You know what? Maybe that's what they do next year.
Bring him in for a hot start.
Just bring him in for April.
We're paying him.
And then May 1st, cut him.
We're paying him.
Yeah. We're paying him.
Well,
exactly.
They do just month-long contracts.
Yeah, we'll sign you for a month-long deal.
Yeah.
Come in, rake.
With a 5-month
Well, I'll give you one.
option.
I'm going to give you one game in May. You better go 2 for 4. If you don't,
I do not want to see him in May.
Any offer you take, you're out. You're done, buddy. So everybody's got their guys, and I would say right now, the lines have been pretty drawn. It doesn't make sense though to fight for Bob Melvin anymore. No, it just doesn't. No. So don't waste your time. Don't waste your energy fighting for Bob Melvin. Bob Melvin is the manager of the Giants now. So the people that are firmly in the camp that AJ Preller can truly do no wrong, they exist. I've seen them. I'm not one of those guys. I think he can do wrong. I think he can do right. I've seen him do a lot of right. I don't want to discount some of the things he's done. I don't want to discount how much this team is in the forefront of people's minds now. I think he has a lot of credit. There's a lot of unknown right now, and especially with the health of our owner, his involvement, it's just gone. It's a little bit, it leads to a lot of speculation, and that's the tough part. It's a tough part for us. We try to wade through the mess, but, it's just hard because we don't know. We don't know the involvement. We don't know what the budget's going to be. I don't know that AJ knows what his budget's going to be.
If it's really a 20% reduction, which is what has been reported, and not just by AC this time, it's been others saying that that's around where they want to be. That's a chunk.
It's a chunk.
And the number of holes on this team that need to be filled.
Correct.
The pitching staff. What's your pitching staff?
Yep.
You and Musgrove
and Joe for now. I mean, and you. We really hope you Darvish is on the road to recovery. I'm dreading the day the tweet comes out. The Sandy Alcantara, we didn't know he was going to need, a complete reworking, another Tommy John. That just came out of nowhere. We knew he was hurt, but we didn't know it was that serious, and now he's gone.
Yeah.
And I'm just praying that Yu Darvish is getting strong and healthy, and it's nothing serious that will need that, because now more than ever you need you to be right, and he just was not right this season, and we need him to be right if we want to go anywhere, because you just can't afford to have Joe Musgrove right now as your only guy that's ready to go.
Well, I said the other day, like, the manager stuff, that's the story of the week, the story of the month, maybe, until we get the new guy, then we move on. But the story of the 2024 Padres, you can't even really predict it, because so much has to change between now and first day of spring training, now and opening day. Like, the way the roster is constructed, that'll tell the story of the 2024 season.
No doubt.
It doesn't
Absolutely.
really matter as much to me who's managing, who's making the calls.
Right.
If we are running, Matt Waldron as our number 3 next year, something like that.
I mean, listen, and it's very much a possibility, for right now.
Well, and it's not just the starting rotation. I mean, the bullpen, he's got a lot of work to do in the bullpen,
Got some
too.
work to do down there
You
as
look
well.
at the Phillies bullpen, you see that? We're not even in the stratosphere of their
Diamondbacks.
bullpen. Diamondbacks, yeah,
Yeah.
we're not even close to that right now.
This is a good point Tim makes in the chat. The biggest hole right now is no TV deal, and that's
that's
one
another
that
thing.
where are we going to watch this team next season? How much is it going to cost? I just got hit with my Cox bill. I've got Cox.
Right. You love Cox.
I love Cox, and I do, but Cox is more expensive than it used to be, right?
Well, everything's going up,
Especially Cox.
especially Cox.
And it's through the. I got banged in my account the other day, and I went, "Oh my God, what am I doing?" It's not even baseball season, number one, but I'm a creature of habit. Love throwing money out the window. How are we going to watch next season this team? And we all agree the RSN, the regional sports networks, that model's dead. So how are the San Diego Padres, who again should have a really marketable, good product? I know it's got holes. Every team's got holes, but you still have massive star power here.
Yeah, right.
You have a marketable product. How are you going to market it and make money off of it? Are you now going to hire a sales force to go out there and rip the phones and get advertisers? Are you going to have a channel? I don't think you can do what you did last year, and
The MLB produced,
Right.
Channel 4 or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to hear what the plan is. Make no mistake, they knew it was coming. They're not taking. Somebody made a really good point on Twitter too. Guys, Peter Seidler knew about, the overages, the debt reduction. They knew that was coming. None of this is taking them by surprise.
No.
They have plans in place. So I don't know, every time we've heard payrolls going down here, payrolls gone up. I don't know that will be the case necessarily. I'm hoping that it's not as dire as we think it is. Like you said, 20%. You got to rebuild a lot of your roster with the 20% cut. You got your work cut out for you.
Yeah, when you think about how much money is already guaranteed out there already. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And with, a couple of guys hanging in the balance that are looking for extensions in Ha-Sung Kim and potentially Juan Soto, it's dicey. I mean, it's dicey at best. But the TV stuff, you're just not going to get that massive check that you used to get. So you got to figure out how you're going to do it, how you're going to offload, get some revenue in. They're doing great as far as the ballpark activation. They're having a ton of concerts. They're going to make money there. It's helping. That's helping. Now it's a new concert every day, it seems like.
Hey, listen, the way I look at it, fine by me.
Well, yeah.
Get Bad Bunny in here for 6 nights. You know what I mean? Like stop messing around. Get the Stones back. Like
we need a residency. Petco Park residency.
Put a roof on it. Call it the Sphere, San Diego Sphere, and get U2 here. I mean, whatever you got to do.
Yes.
But
just get the money coming in.
Get it coming in, bro. And I think that is paramount too. I think that is one of the biggest holes. Where are your consumers going to be able to watch this product next year?
Billy Joel just doing 12 concerts.
Yeah,
in a
15
row.
nights in a row. Sing us a song. Yeah, man. Just so over it. But yeah, so they need to figure that out. They need to figure that out ASAP. I'm sure there are plans in place, but those days are gone, especially with baseball. It's just gone. The RSNs is just, they all went belly up.
Hey, as long as they have that sweet Bill Howe money coming in, that's all I care about.
Because Wiener Howe, as my son says. Call 1-800-BILL HOWE, Bill Howe, because Wiener Howe. It's his favorite bit. He sings it every day.
Wiener,
because we know how, and then laughs.
I love the Bill Howe commercials.
Oh, they're fantastic. I love them better now.
And I love the Gomez commercials too.
Oh,
the trial attorney. Yeah, get a real trial attorney.
Say hi.
Yeah.
You can say hi back.
Love it.
Wait,
him cruising around in his convertible.
The
He's the best.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to, we're in a business where you have to go out and find advertisers as well. It ain't easy. It's hard.
Yeah,
You got to make sure, they want to make sure that they're getting the bang for their buck as well. I think the San Diego Padres are still a pretty safe investment, right? I think that you feel comfortable putting your money behind them, but, you're not just getting that easy check sent to you anymore from Bally's or whatever. Like, it's just not, that's not how it goes.
Well, this team was a lot easier to sell at last spring training than it's going to be this coming up spring training.
Still easy-ish.
Yeah, right, but not at, everybody was like, oh, we're going to the World Series. I mean, I was.
Bro,
It was like, oh, yeah, we're going to the World Series.
I
There's
can't
no doubt.
even tell you the plans that we had hatched behind the scenes.
I mean, think about FanFest.
like such a
think
big
about
idiot now.
What's FanFest going to look like this year?
Same.
You think?
I think so.
I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, depends. Depends on what the roster
Well,
looks
I
like.
hope they watch what they say this time around. I'll tell you that. Because
the guys on stage?
Yeah. Wasn't it, hey, who do you want to play in the World Series or whatever? It's like, we
it was
don't care.
Eerily similar to LeBron and Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade at their opening night welcome events, and not 5, not 6, not 7.
Yeah, I don't want to hear that crap.
It's funny too because
they lost their first year too.
Yeah, they did. It happens, man. It's sports. You can't count on a damn thing other than you're probably going to be surprised.
Yeah.
But it's weird because I never thought that this season would get away. I didn't.
No.
I was like, we're going to figure it out. And I got in so many Twitter fights about it. Just relax. It's going to turn around. These guys are too good. Turns out, then you start really looking at it and going, man, we got to go. These guys are killing us in the bullpen, and then this guy gets hurt, and then this guy's not hitting, and then this guy's lost, and then this guy's booting it around. The fact that we had so many good things happen, but the win-loss record was not even close to where it needed to be. I mean, I guess it was 2 wins away because you're watching a team with 84 wins in the World Series. It was close.
Right.
It was close. But
one Diamondbacks win away.
Yeah, exactly.
They would have had the tiebreaker. So
what was it, 10 feet? Was that 10 feet away from that wall?
5 feet?
Something like
maybe?
that? Yeah.
Back up against the wall?
I think FanFest is still going to be insane because it's the best part about baseball is when February, March rolls around, you're like, oh, I like this. I like what we've done. I like what we have. I like these moves. It might, we might have to fight till the trade deadline to add a piece here or there, but I think we're in good shape. We're all going to say that. We're going to feel it. I'm going to look at it a little more critically, than I have before. I've definitely been glass half full, glass 3/4 full. Last year, the glass was overflowing with hope and love and appreciation. And man, when you watched it play out on the field, after a while, you went, bro, they are just not getting the job done ever. And you could see it snowball, and then awful comments about how they give up, and I don't have any help, and nobody knows what they're doing. And then the panic sets in of this is going to get away from us. It really is, and it did. So
I was stupidly optimistic until, I don't know, mid-June. Ish.
Yeah, sure.
That's about when I was like, you know what, get back to 500 and then we'll talk.
Yeah,
and they never did.
Guy in chat says, FanFest is another 4 months or so away. It's enough time to calm down. Yeah, you're right. That time is going to heal all wounds. You know what else will? Winning some baseball games next year in March and April.
Well, if you make some good moves, I mean, that's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah.
Is when that actually starts happening. When we start seeing roster changes.
And here's one.
That's the big deal.
And here's one thing I know Padre fans, and they got to know this in the front office too. They're going to support next year. They're going to be there. They're going to show up. I mean,
we did our job last year.
No doubt.
They didn't. We did.
The only game in town really that it's a baseball city now. So
I think you got at least one more year where the fans will be like, all right,
goodwill.
I'm here. I'm not happy about it,
but I'm here.
I'm here.
Yeah, no question.
But don't screw this up again.
Yeah, no question about it.
Seen that place jam packed on a Tuesday night against the
Brewers or something.
Marlins
Yeah,
or the
crazy.
Rockies or whatever, and with no giveaway. Like we never saw that before.
Yeah,
Ever.
no
Ever.
question. There's been a shift here. They have to. I don't want to say exploit it, but they have to do right by them.
Well, that's one of the things that killed me. I was so mad the other day when Preller was on the Zoom and he brought up, he's like, well, we just didn't have that sense of urgency. And I was like, this was the most anticipated season
That's tough.
in the entire, in 50, how many years now? 3-4 years
Yeah.
or whatever of Padres baseball?
That should
And
have
there was
been.
no sense of urgency?
And maybe that's on
What?
Bob. Maybe that's partly on Bob.
You got a taste last year.
Yeah,
in
you got it.
22. You got a taste.
Yep.
Wasn't that enough?
Like I feel like the Phillies are going to come out with some urgency next year.
Yes.
And
yeah.
they were
Yeah.
pretty pissed after it was over, and
Castellanos' comments.
and Bryce Harper too. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
I think they're going to come out hungry, and so there's going to be a lot of teams, man. It's not.
Well, you mentioned the Hater thing about they pick up Hater.
Yeah,
Whoa.
they go get Hater
in that
Forget
bullpen
it.
already.
Forget it.
Oh, God.
We got Don't Do This coming up next. We haven't done it in a couple of days, so we got some stories piling up. New one popped on my timeline this morning. The Dodgers in some very hot water.
Might need to just go 3 DDTs.
Probably 3 DDTs today because we've got a local story that is, well, it's horrendous. We'll do that next as well. Ben Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Ben Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Time for a little Don't Do This, Paulie. I will get us started this morning. Local story that's just about as disturbing as you could possibly believe. But
this was tough to read.
Tough to read. Mark Ziegler wrote about it in the UT, talking, of course, about USD transfer quarterback Albert A.J. Perez. He is now suing USD over some pretty gnarly accusations as far as hazing goes. Now, this is not the first hazing story that we've heard about. We've heard about the Northwestern scandal this season. I don't really understand. I don't really understand the need for some of it. I get like, hey, this is how we welcome people to the team, and you got to be one of us. And there's a part of that I get. What I don't understand is, asking a guy to come up and press his genitals against a window.
The stuff you see on Hard Knocks is fine.
Sure. Yeah, get up there and dance, do a skit for us, sing a song,
yeah,
pay for dinner.
Right,
fine.
Yeah,
cool. I get it.
Cool.
Yeah, rookie credit card roulette.
Sure, yeah, like all that stuff.
A weird
great.
suit or something.
Yeah, we all had to do it. You have to do it
right.
too. But this is where it just gets so weird. Yeah, the rookies, freshmen, and transfers were told to strip, press their genitals against the window so upperclassmen could see. Then the door would be unlocked, and each person would enter the room where grotesque pornography was shown. The door was locked behind them. Then they had to dance, sing, do things like that. They would get spoons thrown at them. It was very the lawsuit that is out is, I think, public, but they couldn't even print in the UT all of the things that allegedly happened. So
this was a transfer student.
Yep, transfer student
suing the school.
Yep, and now so he flipped out for good reason and just said, "This is horrible. I can't do this." And
it was heartbreaking to read.
It was.
His quotes. He's talking about, like, I'm the new guy. I'm the quarterback. I need to depend on my teammates.
Yeah.
I want to be part of this team.
part of the team. I transferred in.
But I don't want to do any of this.
I
and he
don't
ended
wanna
up
do
packing
this.
his bags, and he left at like 3 a.m. one night.
Yep, middle of the night, drove home, called his mom, said, I can't do this. So he left. He's been back to retrieve his personal belongings, but head coach Brandon Moore says that he was not aware of any of the hazing that's going on. That's being called into question. It's just a big gnarly story that's going on here locally. And he asked to come back, and let me finish my semester. And they said, well, they couldn't guarantee his protection, that's terrible. Then he asked to complete the semester remotely, online, and that was not accommodated as well. So he's suing USD. It's just a whole awful thing for that kid to go through. So I love Bill McGillis, the 80 there. He's one of my favorite people in this town. It's tough. And most importantly, I hope that kid's doing okay. That's the thing, because I put myself in the shoes of his dad or mom and think if somebody did that to my kid, if somebody did that to Bo when he was going to go try to play
getting that
sports,
phone call at 3 o'clock in the morning,
good luck.
I'm coming home.
Good luck. Good luck. That's all I'll say. Good luck. That would,
I'm pleading with this generation, this wave of college athletes, high school athletes that are going to be college athletes. Can we move on?
You got to move on from the sexual hazing.
Move past all of that crap.
It's awful.
You don't have that. Doesn't have to be.
It doesn't make you a better football player to put your genitals against the window.
God.
In my opinion, what do I know?
All right, next up here on Don't Do This.
Oh, Adam's going to kill us.
We had a run-in with this fellow a few months back.
We did. Remember this?
Sean Morash is his name, and he works for WFAN, one of our sister stations in New York, and he used to work on the DA show.
Yep.
I think he moved to like afternoons now, or middays over there. DA show no longer a thing, but there was something it was back in April when San Diego State was in the championship game.
Correct.
On a Monday night, and he flipped out because there was a Padres game that night, and he goes, there better not be a single person at that Padres game, otherwise you're all bad fans.
Remember that? He called the whole fan. If you're at a Padre game and your team is in the championship game, you're a bad fan.
Like, that probably happened at like 5:30 in the morning that day, and we started getting people tagging us like they're going off on Aztecs and Padres fans before you guys even hit the air. Like, DA was like texting our boss Adam, going like, "Hey, if you go on, I don't I'm not with this guy. Like, I stand alone. Yeah, those are his thoughts. If you want me to come on and clear the air, like, I'd be happy to
We said
bag
thanks.
on
Thanks,
my
but no
producer.
thanks.
Yeah,
We're
like,
good.
no, we're good.
We're good. But he's back in the news.
Back in the news.
For just the most New York hot take that I've ever heard.
Yeah,
I
he went
saw
on
this yesterday.
He
I
went on this rant
"Oh."
about Zach Wilson.
This is awful.
QB1 now for the
Yeah,
Jets.
QB1.
Let me ask you, who do the Jets play this weekend?
The Giants.
They don't play. They're on a bye week.
Oh, yeah, this weekend.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
You got a new issue with Zach? What's the problem?
Zach Wilson, in what is about to be the biggest stretch of his career, decided it was a good time to take his girlfriend to Utah to apple and pumpkin pick and go to a
I
haunted
wanted
house.
to meet the family, man.
He's a professional athlete. The family could fly to New York and New Jersey. I'm sorry. The Jets stink after buys. Zach Wilson's season last year derailed after a bye.
Yeah.
I believe 52 guys could have gone and visited families. The quarterback, the leader, needs to be at that or around that facility all week last week.
It's unreal.
And Zach Wilson has not done enough to get his ass on a plane with his girlfriend and go to Utah for a week.
My quarterback is going to kick your ass on Sunday.
He's probably the guy, too, that says Blake Snell shouldn't play so many video games as he's about to win another Cy Young Award.
Especially on an off day.
Especially on
during the All-Star break.
During the All-Star break.
Yeah.
Yeah. Blake should have been at Driveline.
Yeah.
For
During
that
the All-Star
week.
break.
Yeah.
You get 4 days off, 3.5
You
of
better
them. You're going to
grind.
be up in Seattle.
You better grind. You're going to be surprised to know that these are professional athletes and they need time off as well.
They had a bye week
It's a bye week.
last week.
It's a bye week.
And he's mad that he
Bro,
took
if
his
it's,
girlfriend.
if it's in the
apple
middle of a
picking-
game week and you take your girlfriend home to meet the family and you have like practices and stuff, that okay, fine, you have a beef. Bye week is their time. Right.
Yes.
It's their
Yeah.
time. You know, and it doesn't if he comes out and loses to the Giants, I mean, he's on the Jets. The Jets lose a lot of football games. I don't think staying there and eyewash grinding it out for a week on a bye week is going to do much. I really don't
So
at this
stupid.
point. So, and then this came across my feed this morning. No do this today because this is definitely a don't do this. I saw a lawsuit has been filed so far against the Los Angeles Dodgers. They are a baseball team.
I had to sit down carefully last night when I saw this and just make sure this was real. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right. The Daily News, like LA Daily News, I think this is real.
Yeah, LA Daily News, a discrimination suit against United Airlines claims it replaced minority veteran flight attendants with young, white, and thin women on charter flights per the request of the Los Angeles Dodgers. So they were essentially saying, no, I don't. I want young, white, thin women to be the flight attendants on our.
Freddie Freeman, like, this is not going to work for me.
This is not going to happen. So yeah, there's this is a thing. So we'll look and see how this ends up playing. The Dodgers have given the we do not comment on any pending litigation, said the Dodgers. So we'll see how that plays out. Not a good look at all, though. And we'll see how that story plays out. Not the kind of news you want to be making in the offseason. Listen, we can relate. We're not making the best news either here, but nothing like that. Certainly, that is don't do this.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
I do want to hear from Padres fans out there this morning. 833-288-0973. Who do you want? Are you over all of the Padres talk, the drama? What do you want to see from this team next season? What is important to you? This is your show. 833-288-0973. Let's have some fun on a Friday. Keep it light. Nobody's mad, right? Nobody's mad. Just kind of trying to get through it, right?
Right.
833-288-0973.
Therapy for all of us.
Yeah, it's just therapy. Talk to you next. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan.
You know, Woodsy, we got so caught up about 30 minutes ago. We blew right past Take on Woods.
Yes.
We need to give the cue to call for today.
What is today's cue to call?
How about another Ben Higgins drop? Everybody likes that, right?
Beautiful, gorgeous cans.
Oh, yes. What was he talking about?
We were at AleSmith.
The cans,
and
yes.
The owner brought over the really incredibly looking cool Tony Gwynn. They had the Mr. 2000 double IPA and Mr. 3000 triple IPA, and the cans were like works of art, and as Ben called them,
beautiful, gorgeous cans.
Huge fan myself.
Love big, gorgeous cans.
Almost more than anything.
So when you hear that next,
or whenever you hear it,
whenever you hear that drop, could be in a commercial break, could just interrupt Woods. But when you hear that, that is your cue to call. Call us. We'll qualify somebody for a trip to Las Vegas.
I think I texted you
actually
and said save that. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I think I texted you after he said it, like immediately, and was like, save that. Save that.
Big, beautiful cans when you hear Ben
I was
say it.
going through some of our Ben drops. I mean,
let's get to the phones and we can play Ben drops because we're going to run out of material. No question about it. We got 2 hours and 20 minutes to go. Are you effing kidding me? 2 hours and 20 minutes?
There's a ton of stuff to talk about.
Gotta love Fridays.
We had Chris Rose needed to move, so he's going to jump on at 9:35.
Yep.
So that's good. I'll just let him do it because I'm going to be tired by 9:35. I can tell you that right now. But anyway, let's talk to who's on the line, Paulie?
We got to go to traffic first.
All right, let's do
that's
traffic.
What we do every day at this time.
Right, I knew that.
And then RJ, stay on hold. We'll get right to you. Yeah.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Got an overturned crash that is partially blocking the Fairmont Mission Gorge on-ramp to westbound 8. In the North County, stalled big rig partially blocking the Carlsbad Village Drive on-ramp to southbound 5. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
God, even Kelly's not helping me. She usually does a minute and a half traffic. Right now she's like 5 seconds. No traffic.
She's like, I got it.
On a Friday, I got nothing.
Nobody's throwing ladders off their truck?
No,
like, what's going on?
Need somebody, just somebody do something out there. I'm trying to kill some time here. Let's go to the phones, Paulie. Who we got?
All right, RJ, what's up?
RJ, my brother. How you doing, man?
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Doing well. You over it or what?
Right. No, well, you said you want to keep it light. Let's keep it light. Couple things. So, in the most inappropriately appropriate way, when you guys did the "Don't Do This" about certain types of flight attendants requested,
yes.
I couldn't help but think of that drop from Blazing Saddles. You know the one. Where are all the white women at? That's the first thing that came into my head.
That will
first thing that came into my head.
That will
so
do that.
Uncool, but I feel okay. So there's a special place in hell for me. I know. All right. Second thing, I guess we're not doing crossing streams today, right?
No, Craig is on vacation
today.
Yeah.
So let's do our own crossing stream.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I am late to the party on this show, but my wife and I have been watching, and I don't speak French, so pardon my pronunciation. But it's a show called Lupin, and it's about this thief. Lupin. Oh, oui. Yeah, it's about this thief, and I don't want to say too much more because it's super cool. He bases all his stuff on a French book. I don't know if it's even real or not. Some author who was like a Sherlock Holmes thief kind of guy. Super cool show. Highly recommend. I know it's old. I'm probably the last person to watch it. But anyways,
where is
I highly recommend it.
Where's it streaming?
Netflix.
Netflix.
It's streaming on Netflix.
All right.
I think it was 3 or 4 seasons. It's super cool. And I just like to try to say Lupin.
So thank you, buddy.
Lupin. So anyway, so they're keeping it light. We're not going to bash on AJ Preller as much as I really want to. I'm not going to do that. We're going to wait for the season to play out, and hopefully we get a really good manager, that AJ will hire so that everyone can be happy and we can see everything we've been meaning to see from this amazing all-star talent that just didn't happen. And one last thing, I swear when I heard people back in April, the prognostications, it was going to be the Padres in the World Series, I cringed.
Yeah.
Not because I knew this was going to happen. Nobody, even Dodger fans didn't see this one coming. No, and they're lying when they say they did. Full of crap as usual. No, I did not see this coming. And when I heard World Series, cringe. And sure enough, and it wasn't us doing it. There was the national media, the same media that was kicking us when we were down. All good. no big deal. Nothing but wins next season, hopefully, and that'll shut them all up. Guys, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. And
Appreciate
just
you.
a reminder, they do serve brewed decaf now, and you can grab that at your local coffee establishment. RJ was full of energy.
There's a lot to
There's
break down
a lot
there.
to unpack there. I mean, if we're talking shows, I watched Getting Gotti on Netflix. Fantastic. You can.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the John Gotti story. I don't know. I know it by heart. I know everything that
I
happened.
just saw that yesterday
It's so
on
good.
Netflix.
If
Haven't
you
seen
like,
it yet.
if you like the Mafia, it's fantastic. I love the Mafia. I will say this. This may sound bad, but I'm going to say it anyway. We need new. Gotti was 100 years ago. Like
We need a new
they're
crime
still,
family.
yes, we're still doing. All right, let's do another Gotti thing. Like I know his story.
We've run out of ideas as a human race.
No, we've run out of the Mafia. We need it's hard to have Mafia stories if there's really the Mafia's maybe not what it used
Not really
to
doing
be.
much.
So I'm having a hard time. I watched it. I loved it. It's the behind the scenes, and I'm gonna kill that stupid MF. Like it's like the hidden tapes. I've seen it all.
And his wife is it, or was that his
No,
girlfriend?
that's a whole different scene that they did.
okay.
That's a whole different.
Okay. Was it a series or was it just
This
like
is
a movie?
This is a three-parter on Netflix. It's fantastic because it's always fantastic.
Those are always
I
great.
love that. I love those stories. I
Sammy
have
the
since
Bull, that stuff.
Since I was a kid.
Yeah, I read his book.
Yeah, me too. I read The Godfather. I love Goodfellas. I mean, I just can't get enough.
Yeah.
Scorsese's, his new movie's supposed to be really, really good. 3 hours and 45 minutes long. There's no mafia in it, though.
I don't think I can do 3 hours and 45 minutes.
I'll
at the
start
theater.
on a Friday and finish it by Sunday night.
I mean, I loved The Irishman, and no one did, and I loved it. I thought it was great. Why? Because it's about my favorite subject.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
With your favorite people
With
in
my
it.
favorite people
I
in it.
had very high hopes for it. It didn't live up to it for me.
You have to love the Mafia when you watch The Irishman.
It was like 3.5 hours of really poor CGI.
Just and dialogue, a lot of dialogue in it. Very little action. I read that book as well. Thank you, RJ, for the recommendation, my friend. Anybody else on the line? Oh, you guys are killing me. You guys are absolutely
They're gonna
murdering.
make you work.
What are you doing this weekend?
This weekend, I got an appearance tomorrow at Sedano Ford from noon to 2 out at La Mesa.
Do we just want to play for Corey what we played on Wednesday?
The appearance, yeah.
We never.
You missed it.
Oh, yeah, I missed it. I
would
love to hear
We're
it.
getting a lot of mileage out of this, but people really enjoyed it. They asked me to do a commercial for my appearance tomorrow at Sedano Ford, noon to 2, La Mesa. Come on out. Look forward to seeing you. But in the production order, it said, out your own spin on it. He meant to say put. Out your own spin on it and make it spooky. And I said, what? I'm not doing that. So I did a normal dry read. And then I said, let's be smartasses and put out.
Let's just be petty little jerks.
Let's be petty and make a spooky one. This is what the spooky one.
Is this spooky enough for you?
This is what it would sound like.
Don't be scared. I just want to play a game with you.
Hello, my pretties. It's Woodsy here. Don't miss the Halloween spectacular from my friends at Sedano Ford this Saturday, October 28th, from noon to 2.
Sedano Ford.
I'll be there with the 97.3 The Fan Street Team.
Behind you.
Along with many other local radio and TV stations. Giving out prizes, concert and amusement park tickets.
I am right behind you.
And of course, tons and tons of candy. Bring the family. Don't miss the spooktacular celebration at Sedano Ford in La Mesa from noon to 2.
Sedano Ford.
This Saturday, October 28th. I'll see you there.
If you don't come play with me, then we will kill you.
That's right.
Check them out online as well, SedanoFord.com, SEDANO Ford.com. Let them know Woodsy, 97.3 The Fan sent you.
Polly just knocked it out of the park with that. So we sent that over.
Polly in the background. Woo.
Is this spooky?
Great.
Is
So
this
good.
spooky enough for you guys? I'm surprised they didn't actually ask us to run that.
Like, actually, that was great.
That was really good. Can you do that? Can you do that more? But yeah, I will be out there tomorrow. Haven't worked the old car dealership in appearance in many, many, many years. Doing appearances.
When was your last appearance?
You had the O'Reilly Auto Parts appearance.
Where
you showed up in
O'Reilly. They made me wear a full Padres uniform. This job is
from the
it's soul sucking
cap to the cleats,
the whole bit.
Full uniform.
Yeah. Friends were showing up to just laugh and make fun of me. They asked me to dress up for this one. I said no, I'm not doing it.
What did they want you to dress up as?
Whatever you want. I have some pride. I'll whore myself out. There's no question, but I have some pride.
If you get you a white wig and you can show up as Ashley Schaefer BMW.
Now that I would do.
That would be great.
That I would do. That would be
spectacular.
Ashley Schaefer Ford.
Woo!
So yeah, I'll be there tomorrow. If you're in the area, come down. Look, I want to drive out of there in a new Bronco. I love the new Bronco so much, and so yeah, they have such good deals. And Manny Sedano's a really great dude. Really, really great dude. Really like that guy as a human being. But yeah, man, like I haven't done the old car dealership bit in a long time. You know, the hey, how's it going?
Are you going to sell autographed 8x10 glossies?
I'm not. I don't have any.
No,
I don't have any glossy. I don't even have. I use the same promo picture that I've been using for 14 years. It was taken my first 2 weeks in radio. I'm thinner. He cut. No, it looks good. It's like the only good picture of me ever taken. And they cut like 4 pounds off my face. I look sharp. My hair's dialed in. It's high def. It's the only picture. I've been using it for 14 years now in San Diego radio.
Well, you didn't like the one where you were holding the bat and
I hate you for even bringing that up.
And Ben
I
was like holding the
you
bat.
And Ben
really
did
weird.
worse ones like a year later that like I don't even know where they're at.
Which ones?
There's a black backdrop behind you guys.
I blacked it out. I blocked it out of my memory. Where were we? Who was it for?
It was for Odyssey. I got to see if I can find those.
If you can find those, that'd be awful.
There was the one where Ben was holding the bat really weird. Like it made no sense. Yeah.
I honestly think like the guy that was running Padres marketing, he's a friend of mine now. But I think at the time he didn't like me and was making me do that. So I think it was like let's. I feel like there was conspiracy of like before I got there, like, hey,
let's get him.
Watch this. Ben's in a suit. I never shave because I look like a pederast when I shave, so I never shave.
My wife will not allow me.
It's disgusting. Yeah. And I had shaved. And I was like, oh, why did I do that? And it's the worst pictures ever, man.
I hate seeing pictures of myself pre-pandemic
Sure.
where I couldn't grow a beard.
Yeah.
It takes me too long to grow any type of facial hair where it just looks like crap for 2 months. But when we were locked down and I didn't have to see anyone or really leave the house, I'm like, cool, let it flow.
I don't like pictures. I've never taken a good one. I never post selfies, ever. I just don't look good. So I don't like to do that. And, you may think, oh, like, I'm a pretty approachable guy, but when I go to an appearance, I'm uncomfortable for 2 hours. Paulie and I just did one on the house a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
And I was so uncomfortable the whole time. I get uncomfortable. So guy in the chat said he's going to bring me a snack. I don't know what that means.
A lot of ways to go with that.
There's a lot of ways to go with the snack scene, but I do, I want
it's Halloween season. Make sure you check all your candy.
Check your candy for drugs, because a lot of people like to give free drugs away.
Yeah, yes.
But no, somebody said in the chat, Hannah's so photogenic. Yeah, it's really hard being married to a beautiful woman that is also very photogenic, and she has given up the hey, let's do pictures. Like, let's take a picture. She doesn't even ask anymore because she knows that I'm not going to do it. I don't feel we don't have a lot of pictures of us together. We just went to Vegas. We didn't take one picture together. Not one. Not one single picture of she and I walking into the Sphere. Nothing. There's a picture of me, picture of her, but nothing together. Because I never take a good picture.
I think the whole family needs to do like the Olin Mills thing at like Sears or whatever.
Wait
like
till
all
you
four of
see-
you guys should go in and do that. That would be amazing.
Wait till you see our Christmas card this year. It's going to be legendary. I've got the great Justice Parman working on it. Yeah, paid gig.
Oh my God.
Wait till you see it this year. It's going to blow minds.
What does your wife spend on photo cards, thank yous, and things
Thousands
like
of dollars
every year?
Thousands of dollars. She's the most thoughtful human being alive.
Incredible.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got a family of 3 beautiful photogenic people, and then my ogre, ugly, double chin, awful gray beard.
You're losing weight.
I am, but
I didn't even bring in donuts because you told me that you were locked in.
I told
them away.
Yeah, I said please don't bring in
no
any
donuts,
in.
and I didn't.
Yeah,
cannot
Chris
find
says
his headshots
it's
of you
rough
guys.
being married to a beautiful wife. Welcome to the club. It is. It's hard. It's hard. Feel bad for me, right? Because all you get your whole life is, oh, you outkicked your coverage. I'm like, yeah, well, listen, she didn't marry me for my face.
Yeah.
All right. And I'm in radio, so I don't make a ton of money. So you do the math.
Yeah, you figure it out.
Yeah, you figure it out. But anyway, so yeah, guy said, yeah, I will take a selfie with you at the event. Sure, I'd love to. I won't look good, so keep it for yourself. Don't need to post it on there. There's some just horrific pictures of me floating around out there that I just can't stand. I one time, somebody posted one. They had done a freeze frame from the camera, and they posted it, and I DM'd them. And I go, bro,
Please.
my quote,
I'm begging you.
and I love this guy that did it, but I go, hey, that picture effing sucks. And that's exactly what I wrote. He goes, I'll take it down. I go, thank you. It was the only time I was like,
it off the YouTube screen?
Yeah, off the YouTube thing.
okay.
And it was like, caught me like in a moment. And I was
you're
like,
on for 4 hours
like,
every day. It's like, you're going to have those.
I was like, please don't do that, man. Please. I can't have that thing making the rounds. I rarely do that, but I was like, this one is too much. So yeah, come see me tomorrow, Sedano Ford, noon to 2. It will be spooky because I'll be there. So it will be spooky. We will have a good time. Corey, how long are you hanging out? You got like 30 minutes left, you said?
Yeah, something like that.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, let's get this thing back to neutral here in the next segment. A little bit off the rails. Let's do some spiritual mouthwash. I want to hear, honestly, about something. It's been so negative this week. Call us 833-288-0973. Give us something good going on in your life. Halfway home on a Friday, mercifully. Ben and Woods, 97.3. The Fan. Great to be here with you this morning. Been a fairly negative week. I get it. Always in the news, never for the right reasons. I've never bought into all publicity is good publicity. I just don't, especially these days. I don't believe in that.
Maybe 20 years ago.
Maybe 40 years ago. I don't believe anymore that any publicity is good publicity. I just don't. And I'm ready for it to calm down. I know a lot of fans are as well. Not a lot of positive news right now out of the squad, and listen, not a lot of positive news going on in the world. It's tough. I go to therapy every week because I have a hard time coping sometimes and dealing with all of it. It can become a little bit overwhelming. What I've been focusing on myself is just trying to keep my area clean. Right? Of distraction, make sure my kids are healthy and fed and taken care of and loved, and my wife is taken care of and loved, and all of that. That's difficult in and of itself. Anybody to juggle a marriage and kids is hard. It's really, really hard to do. But I saw something that made me smile. It said, if you get to tuck your kids in at night in a warm bed with a full belly, and you get to wake them up in the morning, kiss them on the cheek, you've already won the lottery. And so it puts things in perspective. So that's how I feel. I'll share something for Spiritual Mouthwash. I'll get us started. I don't want to get emotional, though. Not a lot of people know this, but we got some bad news as a family about my mom a month or so ago. And when I was in South Bend with Bo, when I went on the Chicago trip, it was a cancer scare. And you hear that, and you're like, "Oh, dude, not now. I'm not ready. I'm not ready at all." And you obviously think the worst. It's been a hard month or so to just get through the day. But the good news is that after tests and everything else, there's cancer there, but it may not even need treatment at this point. 3-month checkups, but it's like the best possible news you could have gotten after the worst possible news that you got. So she's doing great. She's my rock.
It's awesome.
And it was, I told.
And you get to see her this week?
Get to see her. Yeah, she'll be in town next week. It just changes. It changes a lot, and you start to think about it. Any of you have lost parents. I'm not ready, so I'm just I'm unable. Yeah. I'm unable to deal with that right now. There's a lot of things that we still need to do together, and she needs to be a part of my kids' lives, and she loves her grandkids. So it's been a hard month, but she's doing much, much, much better.
That's great news.
Mentally, it took a toll, on her, but all of us as well. But she's the news we've gotten is great. She's going to the best cancer facility in the world on the 6th of November. But all to this point, the MRIs have been good. It's hard to explain that it is there, but it's not active. I think is the easiest way to explain it. But she's doing much, much better. It's all good news. My dad has been amazing. He was let go from his job a few months ago, and he's a legend in real estate, and he's kind of started working with these companies, and he puts together these big deals, and then they get cold feet at the last minute, so he just kind of spins his wheels. So he was looking for another job, and then he's fine. They're fine.
Yeah.
But he didn't find anything else, and I know that's because this happened.
Oh, right.
So
yeah.
He's able to do all the things he needs
be there
to do.
for her.
Yeah, be there and
help
damn
out.
it, I was so close. So it's been great. Blessing. That's my mouthwash. Son of a bitch. I was so close. I really thought I was going to make it. But no, I'm just, the best news that you could get is obviously you don't ever want to hear that word. But the best news you can get when you do hear it is, this
might be okay.
It might be okay. So that's what we have in my family. A lot of hope. But yeah, I've been a little bitchy and not myself, and that's why. That's basically why. So I wanted to share that. I talked to my dad this morning on the drive in, as I do. I talked to both my parents a lot driving in, and they're strong. She's strong, in her faith, and she's going to make it through it. So yeah, I'm excited to see them next week. That's what I'm happy about. For all the bad that's going on, that's the best part. She's a beast, a warrior, and always has been. So that's how I'm feeling good about it. You can't tell if you look at me, but I'm actually doing really, really well about it. It was tough, and I share a lot, and I didn't share that with really anyone. I mean, I told Paulie and I told Ben, and that was pretty much it. Adam didn't know, nobody knew, But that's why I've been a little bit not myself. But she's I'm not worried about her. She's tough as nails. So, anybody else got anything? Because I feel like I'm nude right now, certainly. But I know they're listening, so
it's good.
They always are.
Love
right?
you guys. Yeah, just amazing. Anybody else?
Are they here for Halloween?
They're coming in for Taylor's birthday. My son turns 3 on the 6th, and they'll be in. We're having his party next weekend, and they'll be in for that. So it's great. Going to play golf with my dad. Spend some time with my mom. Be around them, let them be around the kids. It's hard, man. I me living here is tough, and of course you feel the guilt.
Oh, when something like this happens,
something like that happens, and you're half the world away. But I told her this: I could have never could have done what I did by moving here and being independent and just figuring it out without her. That's who she is. And that's who she's always been. So, in a weird way, like, it makes me realize I did make the right decision, and that's exactly what she would want, is me to be here doing what I do.
So tough being far away.
It's so hard. It's so hard. And you
just feel helpless.
And you wonder, too, like, I know how she is. If I was there every day, she doesn't want to be worn out about it. Like, she just wants to, it's like, no, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go to my church. I'm going to see my friends and go to lunch. And Mom, do you need this? Like, she doesn't want to be doted on, at all. She just wants to be, supported and all that. So I know that I'm all right being here. I worked through some of that, but I did. I felt immediately, like, I got to move. I have to go home.
Yeah.
I got to go home and be there, but it's hard, man. I have a lot of sympathy for anybody that's lost parents. My wife, of course, very tough. Your wife, it's tough. Whew. Crap. So, not real lighthearted on a Friday at all. But she's awesome.
But that is
awesome. It's good news.
That news is what's good in your life.
Hate that we're on camera now.
Yeah, it makes it tough.
How's things in your life? Everything good, Corey, Paulie?
Everything is great.
I'm like Jack on the. I'm Jack. I'm Rose on the door right now. You guys
come back. Come back.
You guys are Rose. I'm Jack. Please.
There's room on the door.
Oh my goodness. My spiritual mouthwash. Things are just really good. Just genuinely in my life. I'm very happy right now. Me and Megan are getting along really good.
She's got a big anniversary coming up.
Well, yeah, that was going to be my spiritual mouthwash. I guess I'm about a week early, but next Saturday is her sobriety anniversary. 5 years without a drink.
5 years is incredible.
With a married to me in that time,
and
you
a global
working with
pandemic.
me.
Yes, global pandemic.
She's overcome the odds. I'm extremely proud of her. I'm taking her out to a very special dinner next weekend.
That pandemic, man. Those people that could make it through that scene and not fall and not crumble. And not give in.
Oh, yeah.
Because that one, I mean, I don't even drink a lot. And I thank God Hannah was pregnant at the time, because that could have gone, really sideways.
Yeah.
Dude, it really could have gone sideways. And we
got engaged 3 months before the pandemic happened.
It's crazy.
And
you had their
she
virtual
just
wedding.
Moved in for a couple of months.
That's right.
And we gotten all that settled in. And then the world shuts down. And I'm like, dude, I don't know what I would have done if I was like single, living by myself.
I know what I would have done.
Awful.
It would have been horrible.
It would not have ended up well.
Corey, how's your life going? Everything good?
Eating a giant block of cheese, just watching TV constantly.
Your things are good for you.
Things are good for me.
Kids are healthy.
Kids are very happy. Yeah.
Hot wife.
Hot wife.
Insatiable wife.
Incredible.
It's just unbelievable. Call us now, 833-288-0973. Want to hear something good?
We got I don't know. I hope this is for spiritual mouthwash.
Like, Bob Melvin's really an idiot.
Yeah. Hey, Johnny, you're on the air.
Johnny, how you doing, buddy?
What's up, Woodsy? How you doing, bud?
Good, man.
Hey, really quick, I know this is going to be a positive thing, but hey, when you see your mom this coming week or weekend, take a lot of photos.
No doubt.
Take some silly photos with her.
Yep.
I lost my mom unexpectedly 2 years ago. And, late at night it hits, and I'll just go through my phone, and it helps. So, soak up every moment with your eyes, but also with your photos. Hey, you kind of took the words out of my mouth, though, dude. I got 3 beautiful young girls, Woodsy. Man, they woke up this morning healthy, got them off to school. Life's good no matter what. We woke up today, right? So I just want to encourage all the listeners today, no matter what you're going through, it doesn't define who you are. You'll get through it. You'll be better on the other side. Happy Friday. Love you guys. And we get to listen to this show every morning. So how can life suck, right?
Thank you, man. Appreciate that very much.
Thank you, John.
It's not perspective is a wonderful thing, certainly. And I know a lot of people in the world are having a really hard time.
It's been a rough week.
It's been a rough week, national news-wise, world news-wise. It's just horrific. And I like to be able to bring in, some laughs and make fun of Ben and listen to Ben's first dates and things like that. It helps. It helps me. Can't recommend talking to a therapist enough. It's life-changing, certainly, and can help you navigate, things like this. And I'm proud of how I've navigated it. I'm proud of, but it never stops. You got to continue to work to improve, certainly. But yeah, anybody with healthy kids and things like that you can look at, like I do every day, and yeah, they drive me bananas, literally bananas, like bananas. But you get to see them every day, put them down at night. There's nothing like it. Nothing like it in the world.
Try another call?
Yeah, let's get one more call.
No idea who this is. Caller, you're on the air.
Caller,
Good morning.
hello. Identify yourself.
Hey, good morning, fellas. This is Frank calling from Bankers
Frank.
Hill. Morning.
Love Bankers Hill. Frankers Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, just want to spread some positivity and thank the universe, the world. My wife recently also had a cancer scare, but like our boy just explained, it's nothing. No treatment is needed.
Yep.
We're good. It was an intense 2.5 weeks of our life. We were thinking we were going to have to put everything on hold. We don't have to. And the cherry on top, my Texas Rangers are going to the World Series.
Yeah! For you, dude. Must be nice, huh? Feels real good, doesn't it?
Legitimately, Frank, how do you feel today? Are you just a nervous wreck?
Are you
excited? You got this thing in the bag?
You got to be confident, dude. That's how I would be if I was a Ranger fan.
Well, I will say my butt cheeks have been clenched since the end. So,
dude, I don't
day
blame
by
you.
day.
I don't blame you, man. It is, it's awful. It's awful. It's not even fun. Not fun at all. Watching a team that you love in the World Series. It's the worst experience of your life.
Wouldn't know.
No, it's absolutely terrible.
1998. I don't remember it too well. I went to one of those games.
It's just horrific. Oh. Every pitch, just like the playoffs. I mean, you feel like, though, there is something to making it to the World Series, and then you just go, okay, may the better team win. You want it so badly. And both franchises, the Rangers have never won one. Now, the Diamondbacks they have won, 2001, which is nuts to me still. Yeah. I mean, it's just, crazy. Padres been around for so long, and so many teams don't have one. They've got one. You can always hang your hat on that, but you definitely want it again. New generation of Diamondbacks fan, they want to see a World Series there. I'm hoping for 7 really, really good games. Ben's theory, and I thought about it, I kind of agree with him. I think the Diamondbacks can hang in. I really do. I picked them to win, just because everything else I've said has been wrong. So I'm just going to go the opposite of what I think. I think the Diamondbacks are going to win.
I lost a lot of money on those Phillies.
They murdered me.
Matt Strom owes me some. I'm going to.
Strom doesn't. Craig Kimbrell owes me a lot of money.
I'm going to ask Strommy, hey, Craig Kimbrell's Venmo because he owes me.
Yeah, no question. But I think that Ben was right. I think the Rangers will win at least a game by a blowout. I think they will light somebody up. But man, if the Diamondbacks have showed us anything, we'll talk to Chris Rose about it too at 9:35. If they've shown us anything, it's that they are not afraid of anyone. When you win 2 at the bank against that team, against those pitchers,
you feel like you're playing with house money now.
You
at
are
this point.
invincible. You're invincible. Nobody scares you.
They can actually say nobody thought we'd be here.
Correct. They're one of the few. You know, when you hear the Lakers say it or the Dodgers say it, you're like, really, dude? Come on.
You won 105 games.
Right.
Oh, nobody thought we were going to.
Everybody counted us out, bro.
Shut
Everybody
up.
counted us out. And you know what, man? That is literally one team that could say no one thought we would be here. No one.
Yeah.
So good for them.
Game 1 tonight. I don't even know what today would look like if the Padres were in the World Series.
I wouldn't be crying on the air. I'll tell you that right now.
No,
I'll tell you that. I'd be a wreck. I'd be drunk already.
I mean, dude, I moved here in 2009. I wasn't here in 98. I was 8 years old. I have never had a team in the World Series. Closest I can even compare would be San Diego State this last spring in the tournament. You know, you take down number 1 Alabama, you're feeling pretty good, and you're looking at your schedule. You don't take anybody for granted, but you're like, all right, we have Creighton.
We're going.
And then FAU in the Final Four.
We're going.
Like, we got this.
We got it.
You feel confident, but you're still like, I am going to vomit.
Yeah.
I am so nervous
It's
right
terrible.
now.
It's not fun.
And now
it's not enjoyable.
Like, when the Giants won their first World Series, I was roommates with 2 Giants fans, and they're like, every pitch, they just were like pacing. Hit
me on the head with a hammer and wake me up when it's
Let me know
over
when
and let
it's
me
done.
know how we won. Then I'll go back and watch the DVD.
We're going to enjoy the parade.
Exactly.
Yeah, just
Let me
wake
know
me
if
up for
it's
the
worth
parade,
watching.
man.
Exactly. All right, Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Appreciate you guys letting me get that out.
Thank you.
That was tough.
For sharing.
I just want you guys to know, man, things can get better, certainly. So if you have one you want to share, great. If not, got a Reindl Report coming up later on. Got Chris Rose. He got moved to 9:35. Keep the train rolling next. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Ben and Woods, 97.3, The Fan. Appreciate you guys very much. Thanks for the kind words in the chat on Twitter, certainly. Things are going well. Things are going well, right? Bigger pictures always outside of the game of baseball. But you know what, man? I don't want to discount what how much the Padres mean to all of us, in this town and in this room, and how important part of our lives it is. It's more than a game, and it's just a game. Crowd, I can see your perspective. I can, and there's bigger things going on in the world. Certainly, Major said it yesterday when we had him on, and I agree with him fully. That being said, the guys in this room, I know Corey, who joins us today, Corey Stewart and Paulie, Ben. Most of the people listening out there, I mean, you're in for 162 plus spring training every single year.
You're invested.
I don't know a whole lot of people in my friend group that don't watch damn near every pitch of every game, right? And that aren't fully invested. There's something great about having your guys for your city, and when it doesn't go well, I talked when we listened to AJ Preller talk about it. Over the week, I mean, the thing that he said this offseason that's really resonated with me, and I know this is the one that he's thinking about, is we blew it. We blew a huge opportunity this year. And when you look at who's in the World Series, not to take one thing away from what any of those teams did, they all had great seasons. But yeah, you let one get away, and you can't get that year back. And it's now, man, he's got a surgery, and you hope that Xander's now more comfortable, right? You hope that Jake can rebound. There's a lot of hope, as there is with most baseball seasons. But for the it's just a game crowd, that's fine. I mean, that's how you fan. I take it.
There's been so much buildup to this point.
Sure.
2021, 2022, 2023, next year, this was like the window.
This was
you got
the
close
window.
2 years ago.
Yeah, that was
and to basically just lose one of those years. Manny gets a year older. You're losing another year of control with so and so.
Players leave. Cy Young winners. End up
and
probably
the next
pitching
wave,
somewhere else.
2026, 2027, and 28 could be great.
Could be awesome.
With Ethan Salas and Jackson Merrill and Graham Pauley.
You were
hoping to have one by then.
You wanted to get a run going that was nothing's guaranteed. Ask the Phillies, ask the Mets, all the teams. A lot of teams spent money, and they're home. They're home. They've been on Mets have been on vacation for a couple months.
They went on vacation before we did.
They went on vacation before we did, and so as tough as it is, I guess it could always be worse, but. The Padres have an opportunity, and they've done a good job, I will say, when the Chargers left, of taking this city, by storm. And that's what they had to do. And I do feel that they did let one get away last year, certainly. So I hope the guys are hungry. I hope they're ready to work hard. I hope they're ready to put a better brand of baseball on the field, to have a better sense of urgency. Things like that are very important. I'd love to hear from you guys, the Padre fan out there, 833-288-0973. Of course you have perspective. I have my mom potentially being sick. It's taken some of my focus away on things that are that I deemed more important, but doesn't really take away from, our day-to-day of what I want to see happen with our baseball club, because that, to me, it's more than just a game that I watch. It's a game that I watch with my family, and it's a experience with my family every night. And my little guy Taylor, we have this like little case at home. It's kind of a built-in in our office, and we've got all the bobbleheads in there. And he just sits in front of it and just looks inside. Now we're like, don't touch it because they'll break it. But he sits and looks. Who's that guy? Who's that guy? Who's that guy? And he's now getting way into it. He's now getting into baseball more. Bo is already into baseball. Bo knows every player.
Oh, yeah.
He's been watching the playoffs with me. So it's more than just, it's our local baseball or our local baseball club. It's a huge part of the fabric of my job, my life at home, our family. I hate when baseball goes away. I'm going to relish this World Series that starts tonight. I can't wait to see how that turns out, and then I will be hit with that club of depression when baseball is over.
It's the worst.
I hope it goes 7. I need 7 more games at least. And then we'll be looking forward to fantasy camp. We'll be talking to players, old players, new players. We'll be talking to all the guys at spring training. the lag is not. We're closer than we feel right now to the next season, but it's got to be right. They got to do the job right. They're interviewing managers, I think, as we speak right now. That's going to be such a wildly important part of this team moving forward. They got a chance to do the right thing, and they got a chance to do the obvious thing, and we'll see which one they pick. I think I wonder if you had AJ Preller with some truth serum, and you sat him down and say, who's your pick for manager? What he would say.
You could have anybody you want.
Who's your pick? Well, of the guys that are
we
available.
find out?
Yeah.
Like, don't you think he's going to pick his guy, or do you think he will give in to pressure, whether that's from people above him, fans?
Who's his pick? Is it Flash? Is it Flaherty? If he had to choose? And why? Mull that. Who's his pick and why? Mull that over. You can call in 833-288-0973. We'll be right back. I would love to hear your answers. Think about it, though. Who's his pick and why? Next. Welcome back, Ben and Woods on a Friday, 97.3 The Fan. Such a pleasure and honor to be here with you this morning in America's finest city with America's most dramatic baseball team. There's just no question about it. It is Knots Landing and Guiding Lights and Dallas and Falcon Crest and Dynasty all rolled into one. And listen, we're here for it. Everybody wants a winner in San Diego. I don't like how much we turn on each other as a fan base, though, but I don't think that's uncommon. I think that happens in every fan base. You don't know anything. You're an idiot. I know this and I know that. At the end of the day, we all should be wanting the best for our team, but we do. We like to make each other, feel dumb.
Well, it was a miserable year. The expectations were so high, and then when you just can't even hit 500 for so long, it's just painful.
That sucked. But I mean, you also got to think things through. I saw somebody called Gwen and Chris yesterday and said that we should trade. Get this one. Fernando Tatis Jr. for Michael Harris.
I heard that.
Which is... Excuse me?
What?
What? I'm not trading Fernando Tatis Jr. for anyone. He's one that he needs to be the cornerstone. He and Juan Soto need to be the cornerstones here. You guys know who's my two favorite ball players in my whole life. I got three favorite ball players my whole life. Don Mattingly was my first love. Then it was Jeter, and now it's Manny. Those three guys are my guys. But Tatis is the guy that should be the face.
That's the dude.
That's the guy.
He's got it.
He's it. He's young. Soto is 1B, right?
Yeah.
And you build around those guys. If I'm an older guy with 10 years in the league, I say, writing's on the wall. My time's not over. I'm going to be a massive contributor, but let's see what these kids can do. And it's tough. It's tough to do. I understand that. But, so obviously we've got a managerial search going on right now. I asked the question, who what did I ask?
Who is AJ Preller's
and why?
pick?
And why? Who's his pick and why? Like, if he had his ultimate choice of all the names that we've heard and made available, who is his pick and why? And I think it'll be very telling. Let's go out to the phones, Paulie. We got some callers holding.
We will get to the phone calls right after
we check traffic here
Again.
on 97.3 The Fan with the great Kelly Danick.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Getting reports of a collision now on the Siempre Viva on-ramp to westbound 905. In the North County, collision northbound 15 near Rancho Bernardo Road. Car and Big Rig involved in this one. They're not saying if any lanes are blocked. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, now we can go out to the phones.
As I said.
Yes, as you said. Let's go out to Jenny. You're on with Ben and Woods this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Jenny.
Good morning, guys. Happy Friday.
You too?
Okay. So I'm part of a lovely group of women called the Abbey on Facebook, and there's probably a lot of them on the YouTube right now. And I will say we're single-handedly solving the Padres' problems within our Facebook chat.
I'm here for it.
But I'm a manager. I've been managing in my job for years, and I have to go through training to provide leadership and management.
Yes.
And
yes.
Yes. And if people kept leaving within my leadership and under my purview, there would be some accountability to me to say, Jenny, what's going on? All your people are leaving.
Yep.
And so all that to say, it's, I feel for Seidler because we don't know what's going on with him, right? And we hope the best for him. I don't think he has the bandwidth and capacity right now to do what he needs to do, but there's just no accountability. And that's what's just so frustrating because in all of our jobs, we have bosses that we're accountable to, and it just seems like we're just like, okay, we'll see what he does next, and there's just no repercussions or recourse for it. So just my 5 cents for this morning.
I thought, number one, that's one of the better calls we've ever had. Jenny, let me give you a couple of ideas here. If people start leaving, if people start leaving, here's what you do.
You say that they wanted to trade Juan Soto.
No. You say this, Jenny. You say they had an opportunity to get their dream job. And I, out of the goodness of my heart, said, yes, take your dream job and go. And I'm happy for them. That's what you do. You let they
Really
this was
though, but Jenny, Sarah says it was so bad working for you that she's an Uber driver now.
no. That's all
No, but
unsubstantiated.
I develop my people. I work in higher education. I develop my people. But if everyone is this, if it's you look at the common denominator here, right? And I'm all about developing, but like if 5 or 6 of my people left, like and it's not quite like that, then someone has to look at something.
Sure, no question, no question about it.
Yeah.
No question about it. It is such a. We've said that over and over. It's just at the end of the day, context matters absolutely. Andy Green is different than Tingler, who's different than Melvin, who's different than Murphy, who's different than all of them. Everything.
And the next one will be different from all of them.
You can have I can give you an excuse for everything I've done wrong in my life. I'll be like, well, I'll tell you why. It's obvious. This is why I did that incredibly dumb thing. And I'm a good BSer. I am. I'm a good BSer. I can BS my way through it. And I think A.J. Preller's pretty good at it, too. And I think, you have to be, as a general manager, you got to be able to BS your way through some stuff. But, at the end of the day, when you look at it, she's absolutely right. There's been too much turnover. And when you look at that, that's an issue. And I know that it's been brought up. It's also been waved away. And there's really nothing you can do about it because he continues to stay in the GM role and the president of baseball ops role. I've said it like a mantra. At this point in his career and his legacy here in San Diego, I can't for the life of me think of a good reason not to hire a GM as a buffer. I really can't. There's nothing you could say to me that would explain that away. It would be my first move today if I was A.J. Preller. Before I interviewed Flaherty and Schilt and Benji Gill and Ruben Niebla, I would be looking for a GM to say, guess what, buddy? You're now taking the heat. I'm done. I got 9 years in. I'm done with this. I'm going to help where I can. I'm going to rubber stamp stuff, whatever you need. This is your circus now. And I'm now the president of baseball ops. And if I want to go focus on scouting in the Dominican or scouting in Japan, whatever it may be, that's what I'm going to do. I need you to get us some starting pitching. I need you to rework the bullpen. I would do a press conference and go, this is our new general manager. Any questions you have, give them to him. I'm out. And I would walk out the door. There's no good reason why you shouldn't do that at this point, 9 years in. It's obvious that and he said it. He said it in his Zoom meeting. I'm pulled in a lot of different directions. It's I don't even blame him. You get too much on your plate. It's not even your fault. The only thing that's your fault is that you haven't gotten somebody to really help you.
Right.
And
scouting is in his blood.
Scout away.
And I'm not saying he wants to be a scout.
No, but he's good at it. Let him.
But he's really, really freaking good at it.
Let him do that. Hire a GM to just live here, focus 100% on the major league team. They answer to you, AJ, no question. But you can't even. At the end of the day, there's so much to do. And again, somebody needs to come in and start reworking a culture that is consistently talked about in a negative way from current employees, ex-employees. That's what needs to happen, is a culture change. And I don't know that after 9 years, you can do it on your own. It doesn't make you weak. I would never think less of A.J. Preller if he hired a general manager. I would think more of him. I would. I swear. I would think more of him if he said, I can't do it all. I tell everyone all the time on these airwaves, if you need help, ask for it. It doesn't make you weak. I'm not weak because I go to therapy. I'm strong because I go to therapy. Paulie's strong because he goes to a therapist. It doesn't make you weak at all. Get help. Because at the end of the day, if you want to win a World Series, you're still going to get a ton of credit.
He's just not going to relinquish that control,
That's
though.
the thing. You have to be able.
He's had enough time to be able to do that, and he still hasn't done it yet.
Yep. And now, though, there's no good reason that you could give me why you wouldn't want to do it. It's such a no-brainer to me. And it just takes so much heat off you. It does. If they hire, anybody.
Yeah, but it's still the mess that he created, though. Like, whoever the GM comes in has to deal with this. They've got to mess with these long-term contracts that he handed out.
Oh, they're hamstrung.
Yeah, right, exactly.
They're hamstrung for sure.
And also having less money to spend.
Sure.
Yeah. So it's like, you
Doesn't
get to
that
spend
sound
$250 million, but I come in, I only get $200 million.
Yep.
And I'm also hamstrung with
correct.
Xander, Manny, Tatis. It's like, oh my god,
which is all.
That person will know that heading into the interview,
and you're making the point for me of, if not now, when?
I'll agree with you on that, but I'm just saying it doesn't absolve him of any of this stuff at all.
No question, none whatsoever, because they're going to be up against it. But
yeah,
it's if a new culture is needed, all this work to be done. You got to back yourself out of some of these corners. You got to figure out what to do. I mean, especially if I had a free agent like Juan Soto hanging over my head. Bro, you bet your ass I'm hiring a GM to either sign him or trade him. And it ain't going to be me. So it to me it makes smart business sense for me.
So back to your original question, who's
the guy?
Who do you think is AJ's guy?
The easy answer is to say it's Ryan Flaherty, because Ryan Flaherty doesn't have any experience and he could influence him more so than he could influence maybe a Mike Schilt, an Ozzie Guillen. The young guy with no experience is a bit more malleable, right? Okay, good example. If Adam called me and said, Dave Rickards wants to get back into radio, he wants to be on your show, bro, I can't tell that man what to do. He's got a resume as long as my leg. But if it's a kid right out of college and he's never done radio before, yeah, dude, that's the one. Give me him. Because guess what? I can make him sit over there and I can throw ham at him with his shirt off. Dave's not going to do that. I can make him stand in a dunce cap down in the corner. Dave's not going to do that, right? So, of course, I'm going to give me the young guy that's hungry with no experience, and I'll turn him into a killer, right?
So Dave, with all his experience, would be so beneficial to the whole team.
100%. 100%. But I would be like, give me the guy that I can control a little bit more, and that doesn't know what that doesn't know what he doesn't know. Like, give me that guy. So I think the easy answer is to say it would be somebody with no experience, like Ryan Flaherty. I made the point.
We've tried that twice.
I made the point all week. He's very well liked by all the guys in there. But now you got to listen to orders from that guy. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. It doesn't. It's hard. It's harder to do. So, the easy sell, in my opinion, is a Mike Schilt type. That's an easier sell, I think, for the fan base, the majority of the fan base. Ryan Flaherty, maybe absolutely brilliant baseball mind.
But it's not like you're losing him, though.
Right. If he stays, bench coach, whatever it may be.
I wonder if you make him the bench coach, like the head coach in waiting,
Or, how about
manager in waiting.
Empower Mike Schilt to bring in people that he wants. Empower.
Well, it was the other thing when you were talking about the bringing in a GM. Like, if that were going to happen, which it doesn't seem like it's going to.
Yeah, because we
really
know it's
happen
not going to. It should have happened before.
It should have already happened so that person can be in the managerial search process as well.
That's right.
So you can't do the manager hire and then, okay, now we're going to put a GM in. It's backwards. It is. It's a mess.
It is. It's Jeff says in the chat, hiring Schilt is the better narrative. Sure.
Yep,
for sure. You got another call, Paul, you said?
Yeah, we got Jimmy.
Morning,
hey,
buddy.
good morning, guys.
How you doing?
Hey, you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you, man. No problem. You're live.
Hey, I think it's going to be Schultz, because at this point, AJ's smart enough to know that if we don't do anything next year, his goose is cooked. He's done.
That's the thing. I go back and forth on this one, Jimmy. I do.
Because of the contract.
So if the logic tells me 3 more years left on his deal.
I mean, if you make it through 2021 and then 2023, why would you think next week or next season is the final straw?
I know. That's the thing. And that's why I'm back and forth.
This is why it's the final straw. Getting back to, I think, Jenny's point on previous caller, we all have that friend who's been married a couple of times. And the first couple of times you're like, oh, poor guy, he rushed into it.
Man, she was bad. Yeah, of course.
She wasn't the right one. But 5 wives later, you begin to think that your friend is the problem.
Yeah.
And in this case, AJ is that friend. And I think sooner or later, Mr. Seidel is going to wake up and be like, if he read any of the pieces in The Athletic yesterday about how the Rangers built their team or how Arizona built their team, he realized that AJ's doing it 180 degrees in the opposite direction, full speed ahead.
Sure. Yeah, it's not the. We talked about it off the air this morning, and Corey, who joins us today, said, "I don't know if I can root for the Diamondbacks." I said, "Well, the interesting part is if you're of the opinion that AJ Preller, it puts more heat on him, does it not?
Right.
But it also puts heat on him if the Rangers win it too. A lot of former Padres, around that organization. We took a lot of guys from the Rangers, brought them here. Hasn't been successful yet as well. Any team that wins a World Series immediately puts heat on the other GMs. It just does. That's the nature of the business. Why their owner, more than likely, is saying, why them and not us?
Just look at the division. The Dodgers are always going to put heat on the Padres.
Yep.
The Giants now, you can't finish below them.
Yep, they put heat on you.
And the Diamondbacks, by the way, are in the World Series.
Yeah, for sure. So
you can't head into 2024 like, hey, as long as we beat the Rockies.
If the Diamondbacks win the World Series this year, does the heat get turned up? I think it does. But then again, it gets turned up no matter who wins it. So every owner, most owners will say, could have been us, right? That should have been us. That team won 2 more games, bud. And then if you're AJ, your answer is, well, okay, we got rid of Bob. And that'll fix it. That'll fix it. As you know, he wanted to trade Juan Soto.
Yeah.
That was common knowledge. I mean, the stuff that was coming out, I'm waiting for the next piece that says Bob Melvin was siphoning money from the elderly whilst in San Diego. I mean, nothing's going to surprise me.
I heard Bob Melvin kicked Joe Musgrove's dog.
Yeah. He used to withhold treats from Campy's dog.
Yeah. It was
just very, very mean.
Unacceptable.
Very mean.
Bad Bob.
Nothing's going to... And that's the thing, is that's what we do. That's what we do here in San Diego. We're always the enemy when they leave.
Always.
It's 100% of the time. So those days are gone, my friends. We got a new skipper coming to town. Don't know what somebody asked in the chat. When do you think we'll know? I don't. I thought potentially it'd be pretty quick, but again, the rumor mill of some other guys wanting to be talked to and interviewed. You have to do your quote unquote due diligence. You have to do that. You have to interview, I'm assuming, a certain number of people outside the org, even though you probably have your mind made up, already. And that's the report I'm hearing, is that their mind is made up, but, we'll see. Stranger things have happened. Nobody expected Bob Melvin to be here. Nobody knew who Jay Stingler was.
He loves interviewing people because he thinks he's gleaning information from them. And
the surprise, the surprise hire is always a thing.
Yeah,
nobody ever thought Manny Machado would be here. Manny Machado was a White Sox or he was a Yankee. Period. That was it. Nobody ever thought he would be here. Nobody ever thought Juan Soto deal would get done. It did. So he has the ability to surprise you. And as much
beautiful, gorgeous cans.
As much as I think I know who it's going to be, it's not going to surprise me if it's somebody I never even thought of.
Yeah.
All right, got a Reindl Report coming up next. Paulie will take us through a Ben move here, I think, in the Reindl Report. Something that Ben would definitely do to get out of paying a bill. Coming up next.
Oh, my God.
97.3 The Fan. Final hour of Ben and Woods on a Friday. Final hour of the week. Benny in Scottsdale right now, getting ready to tee it up. This segment of Ben and Woods, by the way, brought to you by the Golf Mart. Look at that. Always works out that way.
Love that.
Got our beloved Paulie, but to bring us a Reindl Report, some headlines. Be the first time we've mentioned the NFL today, which is always...
It's like every other sports show in America.
Yeah, exactly. Breaking down the defense.
Oh, yeah.
Take us away, Paulie.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a oh yeah? Oh yeah.
All right.
All right. We will, let's start off in the NFL. We have not talked about it last night. Thursday Night Football in Buffalo. The Bills taking on the Tampa Bay Bucks. Bills win this one 24-18.
Good teams win.
Good teams win.
Great teams cover. Great teams cover.
You're saying the Bucks are a great team?
No, I'm saying that the Bills are not a great team because they did not cover the 12-point spread.
9.5 is what I have.
I saw it. I saw it move up later in the day. Well, they didn't cover the 9.5 either, did they? What was the final?
9.5 would have won.
What was the final?
24-18.
Okay.
6 points.
Yeah. No, the Bills didn't
Bucks
cover.
would have covered.
Bucks would have covered. Yeah, if you took the points, certainly. But good teams win. Great teams cover. The Bills won. They did not cover yesterday.
Looked a little more like the Buffalo Bills we've grown accustomed to over the last couple of years.
I suppose. I watched 17 minutes of it and then passed out in a deep sleep, which I very much needed.
I texted you at like 7:30. You did not respond.
I was dead asleep at 7:30. Paulie, like the old sack of S that I am. I was absolutely gassed yesterday. And so I don't know, man. If you're a Bills fan, you're happy to get away with the dub. No style,
Always.
no style points needed in the NFL. Certainly, but probably a little dicier season than you've liked so far.
Yeah. All right. In baseball, not Major League Baseball, but in baseball, have you heard about this new league in the Middle East?
I've not.
Baseball United.
I have not.
They had a draft this week with a lot of former MLB players in it.
Oh, sick.
Bartolo Colon was the 16th overall pick.
Was that what I saw? I saw a bunch of stuff like popping
Didi
up.
Gregorius, Pablo Sandoval,
Okay, is this
Robinson Cano.
I thought people were just like doing
I thought so too.
a bit of like, oh, this is who I would draft in my like retired
Adult
players league.
Well,
this is a real league?
It's a real league. So it's taking place in the Middle East. Inspire 1 billion new fans to fall in love with baseball. We believe that we are all much more similar than we are different. We're passionate about proving it. We believe in doing things the right way for the right reasons with honor and honesty at our core. Those are some of their mission statements. I'm looking at their executive team. So let's see. We'll start at the top here.
Based where? Dubai? Is that right?
I need to double check that. I believe
it's called
so.
Baseball United?
Baseball United.
Okay.
And it's the co-owner and member of the board, Mariano Rivera.
Okay.
Heard of him. Adrian Beltre is a co-owner and on the board as well. Felix Hernandez is a co-owner of this league. And I thought, that's a lot of... There's some star power to
There's
this.
some names in here, that a lot of people will know, certainly.
I don't know much more than everything I've already said. I don't know when this league starts. I don't know if it's like the Live Tour is to the PGA.
It's an all-star showcase. I don't think they're going to try to compete for... I don't think they're going to try to compete with Major League Baseball.
No.
It's just a
teams.
tournament, right? It's just a couple-a-day tournament, East against West. There's 4 teams. Didi Gregorius, you said 3rd overall pick. Pablo Sandoval, drafted 4th by the Falcons. Robinson Cano.
Yeah, you got the Cobras, the Monarchs, the Wolves, and the Falcons.
Interesting. Yeah, it looks like a 2-day tournament and just a Dubai All-Star Showcase. All right, so.
Big Sexy.
Yeah, Big Sexy's in there. He's 16th overall pick, as you said.
Yes,
I know a bunch of these names. Shed Long,
Monarchs.
Yeah, Shed Long, Dwight Smith Jr. Yeah, there's names of guys that you know. Robbie Ross is back. Wow, interesting. All right, so a couple day tournament.
But I saw all these
2-game
images of draft boards
Me
or something,
too.
and I'm like, the hell is this?
I know. All right, so now we have when's
November 24th and 25th.
When's Thanksgiving? Is that Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving is going to be
on the 23rd.
I'll
watch
so
it.
The Friday and Saturday.
All right, if it's on TV, I will watch it. I'm not going to Dubai to watch it, but I will definitely pay attention. I don't know.
Adam will send us
some of these. Yeah, I'm totally. There's some guys in there that I always liked. I always liked watching Ditty play. I like watching Pablo play.
Do you like watching Pablo play in 2023?
That's a good question.
Do you like watching Robinson Cano play in 2023?
Also a good question.
I'm not sure, but I guess we'll find out.
I mean, I like baseball, so I'll watch pretty much any baseball on TV. If it's on TV, I will definitely watch it.
All right, and then finally, you teased this story as something Ben would most definitely do. I'm going to throw a picture of this gentleman in the stream here. It's not Ben, but this man from Lithuania was arrested for faking a heart attack, not once, not twice, not thrice, 20 times.
Yeah, not 14 times, 20 times.
20 times he faked a heart attack in order to avoid paying the bill at a restaurant.
It's a good bit, man.
He is a 50-year-old man, and it says on 20 different occasions.
His face, he's smiling in handcuffs.
picture laid me out. I kind of...
You got me.
For a second, I go, hey, I got you, man. See what you're doing?
You got me.
He was first arrested in 2022 for some scams, and it went on as recently as like last month. And he was just going around, and it didn't matter what he ate, drank, and anything like that. Ran up this bill, faked a heart attack, and of course you're not going to be like, all right, before we carry you out on the stretcher, you're going to need that credit card. You just let him go, right?
Like, oh, that poor guy just had a heart. I mean, that's in your restaurant. You're like, just get him out of here, like that. Like I'll get him on his way. I want him to feel better. But you can't ask him for his funds. But
there was one here. It says he finished his meal and drinks. The man attempted to leave, but was stopped by restaurant staff who told him he had to pay.
And then he
said he needed to go back to his hotel to get the money. Then he claimed he felt unwell and threw himself onto the ground.
Wow. Have you ever? I'm trying to think. Have you ever dined and dashed?
No.
I've been a party.
No.
I've been a party to something like that, but I've never done it. That
sucks.
Dining and dashing is terrible.
It's really
horrible, horrible bit. This wasn't that. This was just theft. I was sitting in the car. We were on a road trip with some buddies, and a friend went into a gas station, grabbed an 18-pack of Lone Star, and ran out the door and got in the car and left. And they used to call it Yahooing. You Yahoo your beer. I don't have the stones to do it.
I shoplifted once when I was like 11.
Yeah, I did too.
But as far as like sitting down, being served a meal,
getting a meal,
being
drinks,
waited
food,
on, and all that, and then just leaving, I've never done that.
No, like I'm not going to stiff somebody
that sucks.
With a tab.
You're the worst kind of person.
Yeah. I mean, I guess this guy's no better.
No, he's not.
It's funnier.
It just made me laugh.
Yeah, it's funnier that he did it, but
he's just like, he got me.
No, I've never. I was really nervous when my buddy stole that beer too, because it's like, bro, not only are we underage, but like you just swiped that from some tiny little store, and then
you didn't even have your older brother or your cousin or a buddy just give him $20 and he goes and buys it.
We're already screwed if we get pulled over with beer in the car.
Right.
Now you've stolen it. Now we're in real trouble. I didn't not partake in it, but I was like, I recommend strongly against you doing that again.
Yes.
You know, I hope my kids never do a fraction of the things that I did. Thank you, Paulie, for that. Reindl Report on a Friday. We got Chris Rose coming up at 9:35.
Week.
I know, just a fantastic way. Talk some World Series action tonight. How are you feeling, Paulie, about the game? My gut tells me tonight the matchup is Gallen against Eovaldi. Is that correct?
Yep. At least that's what I saw on ESPN this morning.
Going to be tough for me to go against nasty Nate Eovaldi. He has been outstanding. The Rangers have been outstanding at home. I did. Like I said, I did pick the Diamondbacks. I really just did it to be.
Zach Gallen's a good pitcher too.
He is.
But he's gotten touched up a little bit.
I did it to be a contrarian because I think the Rangers are going to win. So I thought, yeah, the line right now is pretty substantial. It's
like I'm confident
minus
in
160.
Texas. I just don't know that it's worth the bet.
Now, if they win by more than 1.5, it's plus 130. That's a decent bet. They can hit, man. That they can really hit. That may be something I look at. But Eovaldi, Gallen is your matchup tonight. We'll get to Chris Rose's opinion on that as well. I'm so excited for the Fall Classic. It is such a perfect time of year.
Did you see the logo?
It's terrible.
What are they doing?
It's terrible.
It was actually awful.
So plain.
I saw somebody was like,
but I would have bitched if they tricked it up too much too.
Yeah,
I really would.
But they've always had kind of tacky, corny logos. But it always worked in Major League Baseball. The World Series logo was always really cool to have that on the side of your cap or whatever.
Yeah.
Now it's just like it's a trophy. And it just says World Series.
Yeah, World Series.
It's like Times New Roman font.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people I think nationally that aren't excited about this matchup, and I do question people's. If you like baseball, you watch the World Series. That's how it goes. These are two really good teams that are, again, as been mentioned earlier in the week. You're getting the two best teams right now because they're the two teams that are playing the best. So
it's not the Super Bowl where it's like basically a holiday in America,
sure.
And people that don't watch sports are still going to a Super Bowl party.
Yeah,
and you got to be a basketball fan to really enjoy the NBA Finals. You got to be a baseball fan to really enjoy the World Series.
Yeah, exactly. Like if this was Yankees Dodgers, is it going to get more casuals on it? Probably. I think the answer is yes, but the markets are so big. Those two markets are
Philly's
big.
a big market.
Philly's a big market. Dallas is a huge market. Huge market. So I don't know. You're right. The casual fan isn't going to go, oh, the Rangers and Astros are on. But the baseball fan is probably really excited about this match.
Like I think there's a game on Monday.
Yeah.
Like Monday Night Football will
whoop it.
Whoop its ass.
Just
in the
whop it. And I don't even know who's playing. But
I don't either.
I couldn't.
But I promise you.
But I couldn't care less.
I didn't either. Yeah.
All I want to do is watch baseball.
It's just a weird regurgitated talking point that people it's stuck around.
Mm-hmm.
Like the ratings aren't going to be great. Why do you care?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
No, I'm excited. I think
your cable bill's not going down because the ratings aren't great for Major League Baseball.
I think that this is going to be. I think it's going to be a good one, man. And one thing we know is that the Diamondbacks will fight and claw their way to the end. My gut says the Rangers, which is why I took the Diamondbacks. But I really like what I saw from the Diamondbacks the last two games. I walked away.
That environment,
I thought they were going to get bodied, and I put money against them the first
I
night.
thought it was over in Game 6. And I'm like, all right, well, it's definitely over in Game 7.
No question about it. So we'll hear from Chris Rose. We'll talk about the matchup as well. Play some flubs probably, and get out of here on a Friday. Appreciate you guys being here. We'll be right back. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Little nugget some of you may find fascinating tonight. Welcome back, Ben and Woods. 97.3 The Fan. Got Chris Rose coming up in about 15 minutes. Interesting note here from Umpire Auditor on Twitter. It says umpire DJ Rayburn will be behind the plate for World Series Game 1. Okay, DJ Rayburn. What do we know about DJ Rayburn? Well, he was ranked 75th out of 92 umpires during the regular season. There's a video montage of some of his worst calls. And when you see the video montage, it's pretty staggering. It's pretty staggering. He's giving no BS. He's given 4 balls off. He's given 3 balls down in the latest clip. Guys are losing their minds.
It's going to be off the rails tonight.
It's going to be off the rails. Another 2 balls off the plate. So I went and looked at the prop bets for tonight, for tonight's game. I did lock in a bet on the Texas Rangers tonight, but I looked at the props and the over/under strikeouts for Nasty Nate Eovaldi, 5.5. And I thought, well, he's pretty good, man. He's K'ing a lot of guys. With DJ Rayburn behind the plate, he may strike out 10. That may hit in the third inning. Yeah. I'm watching this video is staggering how bad he is. Now, they're all called strikes, though. Like, they're all off the plate, and he's calling them strikes. He's not calling strikes balls, right? At least in the video that I saw. Does that make sense? So I went ahead and hammered the over 5.5 strikeouts for Nasty Nate as well tonight. So I think that may be a decent play, but we will see how it works out. I'm really impressed with the Rangers lineup, what they've been able to do. They've had a little bit of a layoff, and as we've heard from Dodger fans, a layoff is about as deadly of a thing as you can imagine. That doesn't matter how much money guys make. They're used to they need to play every day. It doesn't matter that you went 6-2 after the All-Star break layoff. That doesn't matter. It's when the playoffs get here, right. You can't have too long of a layoff. And we'll talk to Chris Rose about his prognostications for the World Series, how he's feeling. I
get his thoughts on the playoff format.
Yeah, playoff format.
I was so shocked when Major Garrett yesterday was like, "We got to change this."
I had to get into it with him, with Major. I don't like doing it. He's a guy that I never want to disagree with ever because I just admire him so much. But when he's like, "Oh, we got to change," when the Orioles and the Dodgers, I'm like, "Hey, enough." No more excuses for these guys. But I'm loving this.
I'm them off easy.
I love the Braves. Bro, play better. Like, do what you got to do to get yourself ready. But that will be an interesting nugget tonight. Watching DJ Rayburn behind home plate as they get ready to start Game 1. What time's the game? Probably 5:00. The usual.
Yeah.
What channel is it on?
It's going to be on Fox.
On Fox. So that means Joe Davis and John Smoltz.
Your buddies.
My pals. 2 of the guys that I probably like listening to less than anyone. Everyone has their own broadcaster opinions. Yours are valid, as are mine, though. That's how I feel. I don't like that broadcast team in particular. I don't know that I would like. It has nothing to do with the Dodgers. I promise you. I don't. No.
If Joe Davis was the Reds broadcaster.
I still don't think I would like him very much. He's just very plain to me. He's very pukey and plain and, well, there's the pitch. I like Jesse. I like Don. Don can get a little pukey. Doesn't matter. Don is the GOAT. This should be like, this is Don Orsillo in a nut. This is where Don should be.
Wouldn't it be more fun if Fox would just contract out like the home broadcasters?
The answer to your question is a resounding no, because I have heard the Rangers broadcasters, and they are
in
horrific.
general. Maybe not this year, but like
horrific.
In general.
If the Padres win the World Series, the answer is yes. Period. The Rangers broadcasters, holy smokes, dude.
Well, then I don't know what to tell you.
Exactly. This is what you get. You open up and eat it, because you're going to get Joe Davis and you're going to get John Smoltz, who just loathes baseball in its entirety. Anything played after 1997.
It would be fun if Fox followed like ESPN's model during like the national championship for college football.
Yeah.
There's 40 different broadcasts you can find. You can watch the coach's room. There's the home radio feed, the away radio feed.
My favorite part of Padre games this year were the Apple TV games. I loved them but I love switching it over to Tony and Jesse
yeah.
while I'm watching the best baseball broadcast I've ever seen in my life. I wish Apple would become the new RSN for all teams and pay them a buttload of money to broadcast all of their games. I've never seen a better product in my life on television. Not even close. I did last night, speaking of the NFL, I switched over, Paulie, to that Prime View, and I watched that. That was kind of cool.
It's not bad.
It's pretty cool. I like it. It's
they
like
do a good job.
It's like Madden. It's like watching. It's like the plays, or they have the lines of the routes the guys run and the blocking stuff. It was kind of cool. And it's still Al Michaels calling the game,
NFL
so
does a really good job.
They do.
with
They
their
know.
broadcast.
They know how to do it, and they also know they have a captive audience that is never going anywhere. It doesn't matter who plays; it's going to be highly rated. Who does play Monday night, by the way, Paulie? Let me know when you find that. But I understand there's a lot of people that like Joe Davis. Maybe if he was with a different partner, I would like him more. I can't decide if it's Smoltz or Davis that I like the least.
Monday Night Football is going to be the Raiders at the Lions.
I mean, not the most marquee matchup, but it's still going to.
It's a good matchup.
It is.
The Lions are a surprisingly good
Sure,
team.
they just coming off a loss, though.
But the Raiders are the global brand.
They're a global brand, but they're not good. And so now,
But I promise you,
that game is going to smoke the World Series. It doesn't even bother me. I couldn't care less. I know what I'll be watching. I know what I'm excited for, and it's not Raiders-Lions. Yeah, so tonight we get
that'll be Game 3 in Arizona.
Game 3 in Arizona. Yeah, I don't know what you do. I know people that love Joe Davis. They think he is the heir apparent, and seemingly a fairly nice dude, whatever. For me, it's just a little bit milk toast, and then to throw him in with Smoltz, who it's tough, man. It's tough listen sometimes for those guys. I don't know how it's decided at the highest levels of you are the guy. And you're like, oh, me, okay.
People hated Joe Buck forever.
They did, and I never did.
I thought he was fine.
I thought
he was better than fine.
I never minded Joe Buck, and when we had him on the show, he's one of the best interviews we've ever had.
That's another one of the. I think people just they were told I'm supposed to hate the broadcast.
You glom onto it,
so I'm gonna just latch on and.
Sure, I mean, I
don't
remember
even know why I'm mad.
I remember towards the end, of their careers, Pat Summerall and John Madden. When I started to see people rip on those guys, I'm like, all right, we've lost the time here, dude. If we were going to start ripping on those guys, the two of the best to ever do it. I saw people getting mad at Joe Morgan and John Miller at the end of their run. Mm-hmm. That to me is baseball. That's baseball for me. I totally get it.
Soundtrack of baseball.
You're never going to get everyone happy at the same time, but yeah, man.
I mean, take Neil in our YouTube chat. He said Jesse isn't very good, though. I don't know what to tell you.
He's like one of the best I've ever heard. Neil?
Jesse is so good at
He's
calling
so
games.
good. And again, though, I can't tell Neil his opinion's wrong because it's his opinion. I
feel
that
disagree.
way. I feel that way about Joe Davis. I don't get why he was named the heir apparent, But yeah, he just doesn't do it for me. He doesn't do it for me. Jesse isn't very good as a take I see a couple of times a year. That's really about it.
People hate Don and Mud, or Don or Mud.
Mud, usually. I see the backlash on Mud, and I don't get it either. I think those two guys are as good as it gets.
But when Don has a Tuesday night TNT game or TBS, and it's Royals Athletics that night, are those fan bases like, oh, crap, with freaking Don Orsillo on the call tonight?
I don't think there's any way. So. Maybe we're just biased.
I'm sure we are.
Maybe we're biased. All right, Chris Rose coming up next. Last segment of the week. Do some plubs as well. Have some fun. Get out of here. Talk to the great Chris Rose coming up next. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. I want as much time with the great Chris Rose as possible. Let's do a quick check of traffic, Paulie. Then we'll get to the great Chris Rose coming up next on Ben and Woods.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Several problems wrapping up our morning drive. Collision on Hamishaw Boulevard right at the King Freeway. Not showing if lanes are blocked. Also an accident on the Claremont Drive on-ramp to northbound 5. And in the North County, northbound 15, near Rancho Bernardo Road. Accident involving a car and a big rig. Not showing if lanes are blocked. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, let's go out to the Ben and Woods hotline this morning and welcome back to the program one of our favorites, host of the Chris Rose Rotation podcast, our pal, Chris Rose. How you doing, handsome?
Oh, stop. Although I will say that picture that you guys use, because I'm watching your YouTube channel right now.
Yeah.
That's about peak beard Chris Rose.
It looks so good.
It was taken a little over a year ago at Petco Park. I think I'm in between my two sons.
Yeah, I was just talking earlier on the program about how I've used the same picture of me since 2010. When I started in radio, I have aged terribly. And you know,
catfishing everybody.
I really am catfishing. I'm so glad I've locked my wife down. So no, I can relate. Well, it's certainly an exciting time of year, Chris. I love the World Series. I think it's my co-host Ben, who's out today, made the point. You know, everyone's talking about this team that didn't make it or that team, but you're getting the two best teams right now because these are the two teams that are playing the best. And it's just I love this matchup. I wanted to get your thoughts on it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I understand. This is now a sport. It's become when there aren't brand names in it, right? If it's not the Yankees or the Cubs or the Red Sox or even the Phillies, had they gotten in there with Bryce Harper, that would have helped out. But for those of you that are kind of like on the border, why should I bother watching this matchup? It's actually kind of fascinating. I have to be honest with you. I know that you'll look at the regular season record and be like, Arizona was barely a 500 team. Why do I give a damn about them? Well, they do have one of the best young players in the sport, right? In Corbin Carroll, their right fielder, who is fascinating. He's not a big guy, but he is super speedy. He's got pop. I think he was the first player ever, if I'm not mistaken, with 25 homers, 50 steals, and 10 triples in the same year. You know, with Texas, Corey Seager, Marcus Semien, they spent $500 million on their middle infield at the beginning of 2022, and it didn't work out great. Well, now they're going to bring Bruce Bochy out of retirement, and somehow he has worked that magic wand and has figured out enough bullpen pieces to put it together where they got past three really good teams in Tampa, Baltimore, and then Houston eventually. So I think there's plenty of good storylines, and I think we're going to get a good, deep series, 6 or 7 games. I have it going 7.
I actually did too. You know, Ben had made the point too. He does see Texas with the ability to blow one of these teams or blow Arizona out at least in one game. I could see that too. Arizona, but one thing we know about them from watching the last series, man, they're afraid of no one, and B, they will scratch and claw and fight, and they've got some pretty damn good arms in their bullpen as well that Genkel looked unhittable. I mean, just some of the nastiest stuff I've ever seen. So I like their chances to hang in. I love their manager. I have really grown to love him more in this postseason run. He's fantastic.
Yeah, no, Torey Lovullo has done a great job. But, I mean, that's one of the reasons I didn't pick Arizona to even make the postseason, was I just didn't like their bullpen makeup. Then when they traded for Sewald, I mean, when you get that guy that is dependable at the back end, everybody else can kind of fill a role. And even though they were winning games in the first half of the season, big picture, I was like, there's no way they get anywhere with the bullpen that they've got. Well, they added Sewald, which was a huge pickup. You know, that was a big deal for them. There's no question. And Ginkel has obviously developed. Sal Frank, the left-hander, got to throw more strikes, but he's got a big breaking ball and can keep guys off balance. Mantiply, you know, has been an all-star in the past, and if you get good Joe Mantiply, you're going to be okay. So it's been a really good, fascinating run, and Torey's a great guy. I'm happy they've stuck with him through some really lean years.
Talking to our pal Chris Rose here on Ben and Woods this morning. You know, speaking of good managers, you know, you're a Guardians fan. You guys, you haven't signed up with Vogt yet, right? Is that looking like that's going to be the deal? Stephen Vogt to be the new manager of the Indians, or the Guardians?
I don't know exactly. I mean, I heard that they asked permission to go speak to Craig Counsell, who's technically not out of his Milwaukee deal until next week. I know they just talked to Andy Green.
Yeah, old friend alert.
Yeah. So we'll see where they go. I would love if Voter got the job. I think he would actually be a perfect guy to replace a legend in Terry Francona.
Yeah.
He's very similar, to be honest with you, to Tito. In kind of personality, he would seamlessly move into the media seat, no problem there. And that's a big part of the job today, right? You've got to talk to the media before and after the game and never kind of lose your cool. And I think that he certainly has that, even if he doesn't have the experience of managing in a major league dugout yet.
And huge shoes to fill, obviously, with Tito Francona. Dusty Baker retired yesterday. We're going to be missing some of the better faces in baseball, some of the better managers, some of the most interesting type of managers. I think it's a big loss to baseball, but excited to see the fresh blood. Now, fresh blood is something that we are used to here, Chris, in San Diego. And I loved your clip that you put out from the Chris Rose rotation. You and Trevor Plouffe talking about the Bob Melvin fiasco is what it's been. It's been a fiasco. There's no question about it. And we will now wait to see another manager come in. Trevor Plouffe, though, was funny. You could tell he doesn't know much about the dynamics because he said, well, the new guy's got to come in and just step on A.J. Preller's foot. And I was like,
right.
If that happens, he's out the door. Like, there's just no way.
Good luck.
Good luck. Good luck throwing your weight around in that locker room with A.J. Preller. And, man, I made the point. Tell me if I'm crazy or not, but I said it's a weird dynamic to be a fan of a team where almost the first prerequisite is, does he get along with the general manager? Or will they be able to work together? And that's pretty much what it's turned into here in San Diego, Chris.
Yeah, so I'm just going to correct you real quick. The Chris Rose rotation is the interview show I do.
Oh,
the
sorry.
One with Plouffe, that's all right. The one with Plouffe is called Baseball Today, so that's a daily show, just in case people are curious about it. It's actually not that interesting, so don't waste your time.
Trevor would love that.
But we actually asked the question, is the Padres' job a good one?
Yeah.
If you are a manager. And that's how the whole discussion started. But I think this is more than just A.J. Preller, because now we've seen it up in San Francisco where Bob Melvin just moved to. Now, Preller's got a longer track record than Farhan Zaidi, who's running the show up in San Francisco. But he and Kapler kind of came in together, right?
Right.
And Kapler's the one that now hits the road while Zaidi gets an extension, just as long as Bob Melvin's. So the lesson is, kids, if you're listening, don't grow up to be a major league manager. Grow up to be somebody in the front office, because you can then stab somebody in the back and say, see, it was all their fault. I put all the good pieces together. That person screwed up making the meal.
Yeah.
I did the shopping for the ingredients, which were all there, but the reason it didn't happen was because of that dude in the dugout. And to me, I'm sorry, that's exactly the way it feels like this is going down. And owners are listening to their really smart GMs and presidents of baseball operations, while the people who have to fill out the lineups and make the pitching changes are the ones who are getting thrown out with the recycling and the trash.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I think that's just an indication of how baseball is now. Used to be, you didn't really know. Like when I grew up, when I fell in love with baseball, my stepdad, who's now my dad, taught me about the Yankees. That was his team. And I didn't know much about Gene Michael, right? Like I knew about the manager, but you never really heard about the GM back in the 80s, right? Really. It was the manager is God. Those guys are God. They make the decisions. Boy, it has flipped on its head now. It really has.
Yeah, I mean, how many GMs or people who run the show are out after 3 or 4 years? It rarely happens, because the explanation is, well, hold on. We just had a really good draft 2 years ago. Yep. Those pieces are going to be coming up. They're growing up down the farm. And as I'm reading your, in the chat right now, Guzzinator actually brings up a really good point. He says, isn't that just upper management in general?
Yes.
Yes. It is. Of course. Everybody else that's
a good point.
On the front lines is the one that ends up being the first one out. And it's that simple. Believe me, y'all could walk down your office right now and go point to about 3 or 4 different people who you're like, yeah, they're going to be here forever. It's never their fault. It's always somebody else's fault. So that's a real problem with the sport. It is. And I'm not one of those guys that is like, well, I'm just going to bash analytics and do that because, all these Ivy Leaguers are running the shit. That's perfectly fine. But occasionally come down in front of the camera and explain how the system works. Explain to us, are you the ones sitting up there and manipulating the lineups every day and then handing it over to a manager who has to then sit in front of the media after the game and answer all the questions as to why you did this and did that so that you can run and hide back under your desk? To me, that doesn't sound fair. I could be wrong.
No, I think it's extremely fair. Talking to Chris Rose here on Ben and Woods this morning, and you started to, if you followed this team every day as we did, you started to see and hear little snippets in Bob Melvin's post game when the season just was not going well, and that was most of the season. Chris, it was, hey, these are the guys that we got, and you do what you can, and you're like, oh, that felt a little bit pointed to me. So I the narrative that's going around right now of, well, it's his dream job and we're happy to let him take that. It's a tough pill to swallow because Bob Melvin came in as one of the more respected guys in baseball. I do think he's got his work cut out for him in San Francisco. I think this roster is more talented, but if he felt that it was too toxic for him to be here, so be it. He's on to there. What do you think is the next move for the San Diego Padres managerial wise? I know you probably know the names of the usual suspects that are out there, but in your opinion, what do you think they need to do?
I'd do anything I could to get Skip Schumacher back to Southern California.
100%.
You're talking to the right guys.
Yeah, you're talking to the right guys. Yep.
Anything I could. I was really impressed with the job he did down there. The reports are, and certainly I haven't talked to Skip about this, but it wouldn't shock me if he is ticked off with the way things went down with Cameo and how she is no longer there. His family still lives in Orange County.
Yep.
It would make perfect sense from every facet. And I think that he showed that he can manage a team, man. I mean, I don't know how much you guys paid attention to the Marlins down the stretch, but after they lost Sandy Alcantara, they didn't have Yuri Perez the last 2 weeks.
Yep.
That's essentially their top 2 pitchers. And they ended up making the playoffs. I mean, that was phenomenal stuff. So I think he can handle it. The guy's been around stars his entire life. He's been a part of the Padres organization. So to me, that's the guy I would circle and say, I'm going to go after it. And I know that they didn't get any compensation for letting Melvin go. Obviously, Schumacher still probably has 2 years. I'm going to guess left on his deal.
I think one.
He got a 3.
I think 1 year deal. I think he's got 1 year left.
He only signed a 2-year deal.
A 2-year deal, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah.
Well, then in that case, that could be a good deal for the Padres. I would do whatever I could to go get him and bring him out to San Diego. But I will say this. I want to get one point across. I thought bringing in Bob Melvin was as smart a move as the Padres could ever make. I was such a huge Melvin fan, and I thought he was going to be the guy that could bring everybody together. I thought he was the perfect guy to lead him through the Tatis suspension water.
Yep.
And in fact, I thought we were going to be playing Game 1 of the World Series tonight in San Diego.
We did too.
I really did, guys. I said at the beginning of the year, my matchup was the Blue Jays taking on the Padres, with the Padres having home field advantage. So the fact that we're not doing that tonight, it doesn't shock me because the playoffs could go any direction. But the fact they weren't even a part of the postseason party is shocking.
Yeah, no question about it. I mean, it's a little bit of egg on a lot of our faces. Then again, that's also the way the baseball works, and it's such an unpredictable sport. But no one could have predicted that we didn't even have a chance to go to the dance, and it's a little bit tough of a pill to swallow. They do have their work cut out for them, as a lot of teams do, Chris. A lot of teams trying to figure out how to bounce back, get it right. For next season. But, man, we always appreciate your time. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to talk to us here in San Diego. We look forward to seeing you next season. Have fun watching the World Series and covering it as well as you do.
Appreciate it, guys. As always, have a good weekend.
You too. The great Chris Rose on Ben and Woods this morning from the Chris Rose Rotation. And what's the other show? Baseball
Today?
Sure. Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me. Very, very smart guy. The Skip Schumacher stuff is interesting, and a lot of people are talking about it. We know Skip well, as you guys know. Talked to him quite a bit. I haven't heard a word from him though. I've
specifically not.
I have not reached out. This is his deal. His name has been mentioned a
Would
ton.
I like to see that happen? You're GD right.
Yeah,
Are you
you're
kidding
absolutely
me?
right.
Of course.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know though. I don't know.
I don't either. I don't either. I mean, I would imagine being on the West Coast is preferable for him. He did share with us on the air, just how difficult it was being away from his family. He's got kids of a certain age where he's missing out on things that he doesn't necessarily have to miss out on if he's here or in the general area. If I'm Perry Manassian, what are you doing? Like, call him and get him to Anaheim today. Like, let him go get an interview at least. Like, that's such a no-brainer. It's probably 15 minutes from his house. I think Anaheim would be a phenomenal fit for him. As much as I want him here, obviously, but the Marlins are in a bit of disarray right now, so that could be, again, a situation where he's like, yeah, I got a year left of my deal. Are you going to extend me? You're not? Great. Then let me go interview other places and try to get a longer-term deal that's closer to home. Obviously, we would love if Skip Schumacher was the manager. I would love if Skip Schumacher was the fungo hitter. I don't care if he's back in Padres brown and gold. Imagine him in the City Connect. Whew. I mean, give me a break, dude. I heard that the real reason Bob left is because he didn't want to wear the City Connects anymore. Why? Because he looked ridiculous.
It was widely known throughout the Padres organization.
Common knowledge that the City Connects were a huge reason why Bob got out. Not that they're bad. He just didn't look good or natural in them at all. Matt Williams also very excited to not be in the City Connects anymore. Paulie, do we have flubs of the week? Do we have time?
We can get to some flubs.
All right, let's get to some flubs here, and then we will say goodbye.
Browns, Bengals, Ravens, 3-2-2 teams in that division. Ballast Point Beer, the official craft beer of the San Diego Padres, had Ballast Point in Little India.
He's not 35.
But he will be before the contract is done.
What is a contract?
Holiday season is almost here.
30 days, half September.
And that is do this for a Wednesday.
Don't.
Ben Woods, back after a check of traffic on 97.3 Fan. He's got the fifth most wins coaching time, all-time coaching. Fifth most, yes. February 12th, State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. State Farm Stadium.
That's not what I heard.
That's not what I heard either.
Our first sound from Padres Spring Training 2013. I think when a veteran pitcher is having success with those numbers, 6-year history of Major League Rugby.
What is Rugby?
Sam San Diego's number one sports station, 93 The Fan.
We were just talking about Landon Jonovan.
Who is Landon Jonovan?
All right.
Back after a check of traffic here on 91.3 The Fan. Almost the entire 97.3 The Crew is coming out.
And then, of course, Joe Darvish and the kettlebell on the toe. Paul Reindl. It's our executive producer, YouTube director.
What's the director?
He's the director.
The Sockers, they haven't lost a season all home, so we need you out there.
Greg Elston will join us with some streaming television. In which Grammy-winning Beatles song does Paul McCartney sing about the words that go together well? He was our man on the scene in the Beast of the Belly, Dodger Stadium, on the premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan
What
hotline.
is Carlsbad?
Are you okay?
What is happening right now?
If you like brisket and you're not going to Grand Ole Barbecue, you're doing it wrong in North Park, at Flynn Springs, and
What is
out
North
at the ballpark.
Park?
North Park. 97.3 The Fan.
Paul's got some really good audio coming up in the Reindl Report as well from Gabe Kapler, manager of the Giants, that you won't want to stay tuned for.
Yeah, sits down and talks to the owner of the Baltimore Orioles, Peter Angelos.
The Baltimore what?
Orioles.
Oh.
What'd I say?
To wrap up our 90s country theme for the week. You seem to enjoy playing for Bob Meller.
Bob Meller.
Bob Melvin.
Who is Bob Meller?
And the Padres tie up this series in San Francisco.
What did we win? We won something. Here we go. There it is.
Good job, Woody.
Good job.
Woodsy.
That's all, folks.
Such a good one. The last one. Good job, Woody.
Good job, Woody.
That's it. That's it for us, Ben and Woods. We are out of here. Ben will be back Monday morning, and we will have 2 games of the World Series that we can... 2? Right. Just 2.
Just 2.
Yeah, and we can hash those out.
We'll see some of you, our gold YouTube members
Yes,
tonight on
the
the
stream, 5 o'clock. And come see me at Sedano Ford tomorrow from noon to 2 in La Mesa. Going to make it very spooky. Thanks for hanging in with us. We love you guys very much. Have a great weekend. Coach and Braden up next, talking Padres and more. Bye.